Um, I have studied the job descriptions in detail and believe I have relevant qualities to do with the team, professional, competent, and loyal, and trustworthy self-motivated. Hey man, what's happening? Thank you for the thumbs up, guys. Thank you for the thumbs up. Daniel, Andrea, Enrique, Hernandez. Hola, hola, amigo. How are you? Thank you for the thumbs up. Hello, Sinan Corbin. Sinan, what's up? This is Chicago, guys. I'm in Chicago. Where are you guys from? Hello to all the 25 beautiful people that are watching right now. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the view. Are you a Somalian? No, I am not a Somalian. I am actually a Cameroonian. Hello, bro. Ajit. Ajit, what's up, Ajit? How are you doing today? Trump or Harris? I don't mind both of them, man. I don't care. I feel like we need to. I'm just independent of both of them. Like I feel like whoever win, I will be the same person. You from India, Ajit? Okay, we're in India. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way. Is this a safe city? Yes, indeed. It is very safe. Chicago is very safe. Say something, sir. I'm saying hi to you, my friend. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say, my friend? What do you want me to say? Wow. Mohammed, Raj plays. Love from India, man. Love to you, my friend. We love you, man. We love you here in Chicago. Love to Indian people. They go easy in America compared to Cameroon? Yeah, I mean, like, it doesn't matter for me. I think, like, no matter where you are, if you have the skill set, you know, you need to know, you need to have what is it, emotional intelligence or social intelligence in order to be in order for ladies to be friendly to you, you know. So it's just about emotional intelligence, social intelligence, emotional intelligence. Okay. So it doesn't matter where you are. If you don't have the skill, necessary, you will be left over. Ladies just need you to be, just not ladies, just any human being, even making friends, even getting a job. You know, you have to have social intelligence. You have to have the social skill necessary. And I think we were talking about this yesterday. We were talking about, like, what is the most important intelligence? Is it a book intelligence, being smart, you know, knowing how to read books and being intelligent, getting A+ in school, or getting actually, or being like emotionally intelligent? You know, there's two kind of intelligence. There are people who are academically excellent. They know how to get A+. They know how to get good grades. But when it comes to socializing, when it comes to knowing how to attract human beings, they don't have that skill. And then there's the other group of people who are street smart. They're very smart. They didn't go to school. You know, some of them went to school. Some of them, it is not necessary that you go to school. Some of them didn't go to school, but they were born to actually, they have innately, they do have the skill, you know, necessary to attract people. It doesn't matter whether the people, you know, whether it is a man or woman. And I was also telling you guys that when you come to work, like, you know, if you work in a corporate America or any kind of work, the people who get promoted easily are those who have social skill. Like once you get higher in a company, like once Google or Apple hire you, it is done. So your certificate, your degree can just get you inside the company. You know, it is required for you to have that resume, but in order for you to progress within the company, you need to be emotionally intelligent. You need to have the social skill necessary. You need to know how to get those people who are in the company to find you attractive, to like you. You know what I mean? If they don't like you, like a majority of people, the people who get promoted within a company are those people, not the smartest one, but the people who are actually, they have a good relation with everybody. Everybody likes them. Like we just recently had an elections for our union, you know, so, you know, employee union. So we were looking for union representative among the employee, and we run an election, you can see that those people who won those elections are the ones that are very popular among the people, among the employees. So those who have good connection, they always end up winning the election. I'm confident that I can lead. Thank you for the thumbs up, guys. Thank you for the thumbs up. Oh, Son of Soweto is back. Welcome back, my friend. I didn't see you. How are you doing? How is Zola and his fiancés? Are you alive, man? Yes, I'm alive, and Zola is around. You know, me and Zola, he doesn't, during the week, in a normal day like that, we don't talk until it's just like when he's not working, he's off, So he will be calling me on Friday, Thursday, Saturday. That's the day that Zola will be. I'm expecting to have to see his call. Yeah, how are you doing today? Yeah, his fiancée is here. She got my WhatsApp, so we are talking actually. Even right now, she's. What you saying? Are you alive, man? Yes, I'm alive. I'm back. Yes, indeed, I'm back. Today I didn't go to school. I didn't go to not to school. I didn't go to the work. I like this scenery. Yeah. This is I remember the coffee shop that I used to sit. The coffee shop that I used to sit. How is United Kingdom? Yeah, this was my places. This is the places that I spend most of my time sitting and talking to you guys. But it's not gonna be my place no more, because when winter comes, nobody sit outside during the winter. You see, look at the trees behind me. You see, they start going yellow. The leaf of these trees start going yellow. That means winter is coming. And then very soon, this tree will start losing their leaves. And when this happens, you know that it is a sign that everybody needs to stay home. Nobody will be sitting outside and streaming outside, except if you guys are ready to pay me like a lot of money, then I will be sitting outside. Okay, man, what time is it right now? Will you sit in a vehicle? Yeah, I mean, hey, you know, in a winter, do you know, like the Chicago winter, you don't even want to go outside. It is extremely windy and cold. Nobody want to go outside. There's a period of time I didn't want to get out of my room, even going to the living room. We need to pray for global warming. Oh yeah, global warming. I don't know. I think global warming is here. I feel like we're getting what we're supposed to get. Like, you know, you have some areas in Africa that are getting rain that long time. You know, you see the big Sahara, the Great Sahara in around Mali, Algeria, you know, North African region. They have seen rains that they never seen before. Long time. So that means there's something. We need global warming in Chicago so that you can go outside during the winter. Yeah, I can go outside if there's a benefit, if there's a lot of viewership. There has to be a motivation for me to go outside. I have to be motivated. Without motivation, who will go outside? Nobody. Especially if you're from sub-Saharan Africa, you know. We, the African community, we don't like cold weather. Yeah, look a little bit happy. Yeah, you have to be happy. You have to stay positive, man. You have to stay away from the noises. If you try to watch what is happening around the globe, you may lose yourself. You know what I mean? You may lose your mind. But I think it in your interest. It is in everybody's interest to actually limit a little bit their to limit their observation, or their. You just have to focus on yourself. Limit the amount of noises that is getting in your head, and just understand that there's nothing you can do about it. Why do you keep licking your lip? I think my lip, my lip is dry. That's why, and I'm drinking. How is your family doing in that city? Your kids are liking it? That I joined Pink Team. My family is doing great. The kids are okay. Oh, they're liking it there. They're liking it there, man. We here in Chicago, people are just here in the US actually, general. People are just getting ready for the election. That's the only thing that is worrying people. Everybody's just getting ready for the election. Election is around the corner, so everybody's just thinking about election. The houses are small, so they complain. Yeah, that's how you know you're living in Europe. Europe itself is very small. Europe didn't supposed to be a continent. Europe is part of Africa. Europe is like Madagascar to Africa. Europe and the place where they call Middle East, all of it used to be Africa. All of it used to be Africa. I think they're exaggerating. I think they're exaggerating. You know, I think the Trump people are exaggerating. I think they're trying to promote. They're trying to convince people to go out and vote. Because if the Trump supporters feel like they're not gonna win, it's gonna make them not wanting to go out and vote. But you know for a fact that it's gonna be very difficult for Trump to win a general. Like the population wise. So he's not gonna win the majority. He's just looking to win the electorate. So he's just looking to get the 270 before this lady. And I feel like they like if like we want to be very conservative, Trump need to be worried a little bit, need to be more worried than he is, right? And you can see that he's worried. That's the reason being. You can see him going to McDonald's. You can see him and doing all of that because his people are telling him that you need to be worried a little bit. You need to be worried, even though there's nothing done. Because so far we have Pennsylvania, or we have Pennsylvania where people, all of this bottle ground, all of this is state, where they suppose where you need to win in order to win the election. He's not doing so far right now. Kamala Harris is leading in the poll. Even in Georgia she's leading. No, she's not doing. But what the Trump people are expecting, because the mail vote and the early vote is going to war. In Pennsylvania, I think it's like Kamala Harris is almost like 600,000 to Donald Trump is having like a 200 almost 200,000, 600 to 200,000. So what what Donald Trump is looking to do is that the day of vote, like the day, like, of vote, like people come out, his people come out very heavily in order to support. But Kamala Harris is still like, she's leading in all of the early vote. Yeah, a woman there's a possibility. There's a very strong possibility. There's very, very, very strong possibility. Trump can win, but it's gonna take like, it's gonna take a huge sacrifice from his supporters in order for him to make it, to win. Yeah, a woman president. We need to have a woman president. We have arrived at a time where a woman president will be actually something that is something that we need to talk about. We need to think about. But for me, I don't know, man. Yeah. I mean, like, if you look at it, she can maintain. She can maintain the lead because she's leading. I saw many analysts saying that she was doing badly. Yeah, they like I was telling you, they're just trying to. I think like they're trying to be realistic. They don't want to be surprised because they don't want to be surprised by They're not sure. She's a woman, and so like you remember what they did in 2016 with Hillary Clinton, where she was actually where everybody was thinking that she was going to win. Thank you for the thumbs up. Slim Slick is in the house. She was Hillary. Everybody thought that Hillary Clinton was about to win, and then Trump surprised. Even though Hillary Clinton still won the majority, but the electorate, the delegate went to Trump. So I think like right now people are exaggerating. I feel like I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm saying like what people are doing right now. The conservative way of looking at it is that like they are actually let's say they are neutral, even though we know they're not neutral, because so far, like I'm telling you, so far the early vote that are out is like she's leading in most of these states. In most of these, like we have something called swing state. Those are like 5 or 6 states whereby like here in America they have like a state that are strongly Democrat and a state that are strongly conservative. Those states will go, so people the candidate do not spend time like Illinois, Chicago here. I'm sitting here in Chicago, Illinois. You don't see Kamala Harris coming here and paying a lot of advertisement ads and campaigning heavily here because she already guaranteed that this state is going in her pocket. And then you have states that are like they can go either way. So this is where they put in money. And those states you have like like Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, and then you have Pennsylvania, Florida, North Carolina, sometimes South Carolina, Wisconsin, which is close to Chicago. What's the other one? Even Nevada can also go either way. So those states, in those states, swing state, they have early vote, and most of these, in all of these, like state, like 80% of them, she's still leading. But now, people are just waiting. What Donald Trump people are hoping is that by the time the election day come, like majority of the Democrats have already voted, and then the people who support Trump come out heavily and vote and surpass her. But so far she's leading. But what the Democrats are doing in Pennsylvania, for instance, where she's leading with more than 200, almost 200,000 votes in Pennsylvania. They're trying to it's still like they're trying to stimulate the voters. They're trying to push their voters, and they have something called mail voter also. They have to try to maintain that lead. So Kamala Harris is like she's in the business of maintaining the lead, while Donald Trump is in the business of taking over the day of election, because Republican will come like heavy, they want to, vote like on a day of the election. So I saw a video of Barry Soetoro scolding black people. Is he that powerful? Who is that guy? Let me Google him. What do you think of Barry Soetoro? Okay, let me see him. I don't even know him. Barry. Let me see. His name is what? Barry. Are you talking about Obama? Barry Soetoro. Barry Soetoro. Yeah. You're talking about the video where he's asking the black men to vote. He's blaming the black man for not going out heavily. Yeah, I think. Okay. I think. I don't know. I feel like even the blame that people are saying, like even like people are crying. The Democrats are crying. That the black men are voted, like the amount, the percentages of black men that will be voting for Donald Trump is less than 9%. It's not gonna be even up to 9%. And those people are actually, for me, I think like they already made their mind. They're already conservative in nature. And Obama was just trying to criticize. There's a conflict that exists between agenda conflict that exists between black men and especially young black men and black women. It exists online, and that gender conflict is also contributing to the fact that black men, young black people are not saying they will lean toward like Donald Trump and not Kamala Harris. But I feel like, but with all of that says, with everything that we're saying, I feel like it's still like five people. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for the thumbs up. With everything that is happening. Like almost like 89 to 90%, 89 or 87% of black men will be voting for Kamala Harris. That's what you need. Like the people who are conservative, who will be voting for Republican among the black people are very, it's just less than 10%. Like if you take black men and black women who are conservative, who will be voting for Donald Trump, it's like 10% or even less, sometimes 9%. 9%. So Obama is like is trying to force the guy to go and vote for Kamala Harris. Even though I think like it's just campaign. He's just trying to force them to go out and vote. Is it growing percentages of the population? The thing is, it's not gonna be growing. It has a limit. It has like you have a dissatisfaction that exists within the black community, black male, that the Democrat need to also like take into consideration, being that you see the biggest even the Democratic Party, even though they have a lot of black people, minority in the parties. It's still like they need to start thinking about giving black men also like a good position like VP and stuff like that. So that's but when it comes to the Republican have a big issue. They have a big issue. They need to force in order for them to get a huge, because like if Republicans change their way they see black people, I think like black people will be going back to becoming a conservative, because in nature majority of black people are very religious, very conservative in nature. But the thing, the message, the core of the conservative is the reason why I feel like black people will not be going heavily toward it. Because like if you see what is happening, if you see the people who are voting for Donald Trump, the people who are conservative, if you see their message, you can see like you saw the video in Florida the other day, where a group of men who are following a black young teenagers, because he's walking around the street, around the neighborhood, and he was he was seen as though like he doesn't belong to that neighborhood, and they start following him, and one of them actually wanted to pull out a gun. So this kind of attitude, and these are the people that vote for concept. These are the people that they call, that call themselves MAGA, and even the notion of MAGA, make America great again. And it has something like, it has like the underlying tone of it is like, racism. That's the way I see it, because like, for majority of black people, it's like, it's like a Jew. It's like, let me give one analogy. It's like Jewish people in Germany. Let's say a new leader in Germany come out and say, let's make Germany great again. Do you think that the Jewish people who are living in Germany will vote that party, that politicians who say, let's make Germany great again? They will never. And I think, like, even though black people are one of the group of people that are most tolerant, they're tolerant to, or like they tend to forget the bad thing that people, but it's still like, majority of them will never go toward that. So again, like, I feel the only reason why there's not a lot of black people in the Conservative Party is because of because of the core supporter of the MAGA, of Conservative. Like, for the simple fact that, like, the head of KKK, David Duke, I don't know if you know him, he endorsed Donald Trump. That endorsement is like, is telling a lot. So that's at least, that's for me, as somebody who's from outside, this is the way I see it. Is it a growing percentage of the population? Like I was saying, like the growing population, I think the population, even though the Democrats also have their issue, like many new generation of black people are asking the Democrat the good question. Okay, we've been voting for you for a long time. We need something. We need you guys to do something for us. Like, they have issue, but it's still, when they cannot, like, some of them, when they see what the Republican Party represents, what it stands for, and they know, like, you need to know what is going on. You need to watch the social media. You need to watch the people who vote for the reason why people are voting for Donald Trump. You need to know the reason behind it. You need to know why they're going for Donald Trump. You need to know the reason why they had Biden, for instance. I mean, he was forced to denounce it. He said that he doesn't know, but people know. Like, you don't need to say something. Some of these action, like even the way, like even his VP, his vice president. The reason why he picked his vice president is very clear. It's very clear. He know the kind of people just look at your action. You don't need to say something. You don't need to say something. People think that your action speak louder than what you are doing. So and again, I say, like, if you listen, if you go and investigate the people that are voting for that are supporting Donald Trump, and the reason why they're supporting Donald Trump, you will understand the reason why majority of black people will never go for. There's, like I said, there's a percentage of black people that will ignore all of that and vote for Conservative Party, like Donald Trump. But majority of them will not vote. Like, I'm telling you, when the election come, like, Democrats are not worried that the black people will not vote for them. They just worry that they're not gonna vote they're not gonna get like 95% of black people. They're pretty sure they will get around 90% or 90 something percent. And there's a reason behind it. People don't just go out and vote. Like, people don't just go out and vote for one party for a long time like that, and heavily like that. Just like I was telling you, it's just like in Germany. If you go to Germany today, and then let's say a new party emerge, and that party say, you know what, the day of Hitler was actually great. Let make Germany great again, like it used to be. Actually, the ideology that Hitler stands for is great. Let's just adapt those ideology. And then you have people who are sleeping in Germany who feel like they have a lot of immigrant, or they have a lot of minority that are taking over their country. Those people will be awakened and they will be supporting that party. But the only group that will not be supporting that party is like people, the Jewish people. They will not support that party. So, like, so here in America, like, remember that there's a moment when people were going outside and trying to destroy some of the big monuments, some of the some of the heroes, the conservative heroes, their monument were being destroyed by some group of people, because those monuments represent something for many African Americans. So to sum up my argument is that African or black in general are very are conservative in nature. They're very spiritual people. They're very religious people. The only reason why, and the Republican Party is actually based, is also conservative, and also majority of them are religious. But the only reason why they are people, they're not getting the support of this minority of black people is because of the message that what they say behind the door. That's what it is. And the day they will adapt, they will adapt and support black people. Trump could have shown the black people, if he needed the voice, he could have just taken a black man and put him as a vice president. But he knows that if he did that, that the only reason why people hate Joe Biden is because of the fact that he took a lady, a black woman, put her as a vice president. Trump himself, he emerged into the political scene. His emergence is because of many people saw Obama as America going down, a black person being able to come into power. That's the reason why Trump, and they're saying that Democrat is actually a party, a very progressive party, allowing black, allowing gay, allowing LGBT people, allowing black people to, and so that's what led him to, that's where he gained his popularity. Saying that they will vote Trump because of the immigration issue in black area. Yeah, I mean, people, yes, those groups still exist. Even here in Chicago, Chicago is a liberal, it's like a Democrat area, and even here in Chicago, you have a group of people, black people, that are against the immigration, especially the Venezuelan. That there's a lot of Venezuelan that are put into their community. They feel like it's time for them. It's time for the politician to stop doing that. So those group of people are saying that they're there, but I don't know. They're a group of black people who are like that. They're saying that there's a hypocrisy, like majority of immigrants. But the problem is that also I feel like I understand the black American. They're saying that they're the first one to adapt to accept the immigrant. When immigrants they come into the urban area. They come and live with the black people. And then those immigrants, look at Florida, Miami. Majority of the people, the immigrants, they are from Cuba and Lebanon and Syria. Lebanon, Syria, you have Argentinian. And those people, the reason why Florida is not safe for black people. At one point, actually, black people, the organization NAACP, the organization for colored people, the black people, advise some African American to not go. Like they're saying that Florida is not safe. It's because of the people coming from Cuba, the Cuban who are there, very conservative, and even the people who follow that young guy, follow him around the neighborhood, and they were trying to unalive him. Those people are not like white Caucasian. They're from Brazil. Some of them are Brazilian. Some of them are from Venezuela. Some of them are Syrian. And all of them, they form a group in Miami. They're very anti-black. So black people are saying that these people, they come and they live with us, and then later on they become the very people that we accepted become like very anti-us. And so why do we accept them? That's the question and I understand that question. I understand them. Me as an immigrant, I'm observant, guys. I'm not telling you guys. I'm just observing, and I'm telling you the sentiment that I'm seeing as an observer. I'm telling you what I feel. Yes, go to Miami. I'm telling you, Miami is just heavy. The people who are doing all of the crazy shit, like the people who are going, the reason why, the governor of Miami, what is his name again? Is anti. It's like they're banning the history of black people. Black American history. They say you should not read it and all of that. It's because the people who support them are like people from, majority of them are Cuban. They're the one who vote actually. They're the one. You see, even the guy who went and killed the unalive immigrant in Texas, he's Cuban. He's not white. Even the people who organized for January 6th, majority of them that are now in prison, they're Cuban, Venezuelan, Syrian, people from Syria also in Lebanon. And all of them, they're the one who I feel the reason why I hate Florida is because of those guys. You know, the white Caucasian themselves are living in the suburb, they don't care. But those guys, the new immigrant, the second generation, they're the very terrible people to be around. So, and black people know that. Black people know that. Even like, the last election. So black people are like, when every election they're fighting those immigrants, because those guys in Florida, even though they hate black people, they want black people to vote conservative. How do you hate me and you don't want me, like you're following me? If you see my children, if you see me in your neighborhood, you start following me, asking me question about what am I doing here? Do I live around this neighborhood? And then later on, you come back and ask me to vote for your party, the party that you like. It doesn't work like that. So it doesn't. Again, I'm telling you, the people who support the conservative are the reason why majority of black Americans don't see themselves voting for this party. Okay, this is a Cameroonian telling you, analyzing the American politics and telling you the reason why a lot of black Americans are still voting Democrat. The reason is very simple. It is because of the way the people who support the conservative, not because they don't like the conservative idea. Black people can be actually very homophobe because they're anti-LGBT. They accept all of the argument. They're anti-abortion. All of that, black people are with it. So black people are very anti-abortion. They're very anti-LGBT agenda. They're very all of that. But they have realized, some of them, the older people have realized, they know what you are hiding. They know what is your agenda. They know that the majority of people who vote, they don't want you. They're the one who follow you. When they see you in their neighborhood, they follow you around. You should go to other podcasts. What podcast? What podcast? I don't even follow podcasts. For me, I don't follow podcasts. I don't follow podcasts. Like I was telling you, both party, for me, I didn't vote. I don't vote, and I will not vote for anybody. I don't care. I'm just an observant. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter. Whoever win. Whoever win. For me, I think like, if black, I would, because even if Kamala Harris will win, she will be sabotaged. They will sabotage her presidency. That's what will happen. Majority of the decision that she will be doing, she will never do something that will be deemed like good. So that's the thing, sometimes winning is even dangerous for you. And even Donald Trump himself will be sabotaged, but not to the extent that Kamala Harris will be sabotaged. So Donald Trump will be sabotaged, but not to the extent. But Kamala Harris, even if she wins, she will be sabotaged. No matter what she does. If she give, like right now, look at the Arab community to understand what I'm telling you. I was telling you that in Lebanon, in Miami, you have a lot of Venezuelan, Syrian, Lebanese who are anti the black American, agenda. And look at, for instance, look at the Arab community in Michigan, for instance. This Arab community, Donald Trump actually, this Arab community, with everything that Donald Trump says, we know that Netanyahu, the Israeli government, want Donald Trump to win. The reason being, Israeli government is seeing that Joe Biden is actually limiting their support towards Israeli government, so they want Donald Trump to win. And Donald Trump actually openly told the press that he actually thinks that Joe Biden administration is not doing enough to help Israel win. And he is saying that once he comes there, he will allow Netanyahu to finish the job that they started, meaning that he will provide all the material needed for Israel to do whatever it wants. But with all of that, yesterday or the day before yesterday, the Arab community in Michigan decided to endorse him. They would rather have him. So you have to understand. That's what I'm telling you. You have to understand what is going on. Those assassins, I don't know what is going on. For me, I don't know what is going on. I think I do believe that there are some lunatic, there are some people who are mentally not as stable. I mean, you can see it even from high school. People who are mentally stable that are here in this country, they can do anything. So I do not I do not disprove, I do not involve in conspiracy. There's some group of people who are thinking that maybe it's a setup. maybe Donald Trump is setting up to get a momentum. I do believe that there are people like that from both parties that can be very radical. So yeah, I think if it is true that there's a group of people, he need to be dealt with. They like I was telling you, even like I used to live like I was telling you, like what the Syrian is doing in Miami and Lebanon is doing in Miami. It's like we in human tribalism is like deep inside of us. Even though we are trying to stay away from it, but we are all tribal. People who look like you tend to go with them. So the Arab community, they find themselves closer to the white community than they are to African community, and that's what it is. And they would rather have a white person, doing terrible thing to them than having a black person who is like, passive. And also, like, you can see the way, like, they organize. You saw what happened here when we had like a DNC, democratic, the Democrat National Convention here. You saw how the Arab came here and revolted, and they did manifestation. They wanted to sabotage her nomination because she's part of the. Even though she's not the president, she's just a vice president. She's part of the Joe Biden. She cannot contradict the president who is in power. You know what I mean? Even if she has a policy, she cannot contradict that president. I'm not supporting her. She herself, she has a lot of trouble with blackmail. She's a majority the black majority of black men who are now going to vote for conservative are saying that when she was like a judge, or when she was like in California, she put a lot of black men into prison for minor crime, like smoking marijuana and stuff like that. So she has a lot of trouble. But I'm telling you that the Arab community, the majority of Arab community here, will be voting for Donald Trump. Some of them don't want to tell you, but I know a lot of Palestinian who are here, a lot of Syrian, all of them will be voting for Donald Trump. Yeah, I'm telling you, all of them, they come because the Arab community. The thing is that you need to understand, black community. It doesn't matter how long you live in a Western world, your skin is always like your skin make you like different from the rest. The Arab community though, like when they come here, first they come and live in around the African American, but they're trying to assimilate. They assimilate. Some of them, if you see them, you cannot distinguish them to the white community. So they disappear. They completely become part of that group. And that's go to Miami. I'm telling you, go to Miami. You'll see most of these Syrians that are in Miami. You'll never know that they're Syrian actually. You'll never know that they're Lebanese. And they like I was telling you, if you look at that video, the video that I was that they show where the black teen was being followed, it's not white. All of them are from outside. Some of them are Venezuelan, some of them are Brazilian, some of them are Lebanese, some of the Jews. So that's what it is. Like that's what it is. It's like I was telling, it's like human nature. Majority of us will be voting for the video. Like the video was circulating in TikTok. Let me see if I can show you the video of that thing. This video has been circulating. Look at the group of people. See those group of people? You see those group of guys? Majority of them are not like, even the guy who's coming with who's pulling his gun, the guy with the blue, or even the guy from other side. All of them, if you know that they're not from South America. Some of them are Cuban. Like I said, some of them are. Many people think that because here African American, they don't distinguish between white group of people. But for me, because I live outside, I know all of them. So like majority of them have. The other dude is a Brazilian. The other guy is like is a Cuban. I was telling you that the Arab community, when they come here, they can disappear. Like, you know, majority like Lebanese. Lebanese are Christians, and some Iraqis are Christians. So when they come here, they can just assimilate, and then some of them are intermarrying each other. So they don't see the distinction, except when the person tell them that, oh, I'm Arab. The only Arab that they are discriminating against are those that are still having their culture, like, you know, still wearing something that distinguishes them from the majority. But majority of them don't do that. Like Lebanese people, they disappear completely in a society. Lebanese, if they didn't tell you, you never know. Syrian disappear completely, except if you wear your things, you know. So that video, so that's the deep issue. In order for Republican or the Conservative Party, Republican to gain support from the black community, they need to change. They need to actually change the attitude of their supporters. They need to try to change the attitude of their supporters. But then again, if the Republican also change the attitude, become like become like a very progressive, accepting minority to be part of their party, then they become like a Democrat, right? Then I feel like, then the conservative who are following, their follower will drop, because the nature of the people that follow them, the reason why they follow them is because of the ideology that they are trying to, you know what I mean? Like, the governor of Florida, the reason why he decided to ban those books, those African American history in his school, is because he know that there's a group of people who enjoy that. He know that he cannot do it out of nowhere. So they know that they do have people who like them to do that. So if the Republican Party is very difficult for them now, they will look at it. If they change, they become very progressive and they change their way of seeing people and all of that. Are they gonna still a Republican and Conservative Party? Because the reason why they're conservative, again, it has to do with walk. People use the word wokeism. All of it. People who are anti-woke, people who are anti-woke, who are MAGA. What is wokeism? Wokeism is just like, a person who come to realize that doing terrible thing to a group of people is no longer good. So you have to you wake up from your sleeping and you have to start treating people the way you would like to be treated. You have to treat women normally, with respect. Treat people who are who have a sexual orientation that is different than yours with respect. Treat people whose skin color is different than yours. That's what it is. But these people are anti-wokeism. They want everybody to go back and be and go back and take their position, like be as what they used to be back in the days. What do you think of Candace Owens investigation on identity of Kamala Harris? Candace Owens, for me, I think the way I see people like Candace Owens, they're people that they are people who found a career. They formed their career based on saying things that the majority of Conservative Party want them to say in order to maintain their, So Candace Owens doesn't have any, and she saw, and look at it this way. Candace always was being praised by everybody, by the Jewish people, Ben Shapiro, by everybody. When she was insulting black people, she was saying that we are low IQ, criminal-minded people, all of that nonsense. She was saying everything that the conservative people wanted to say but could not say. She was saying it loudly, and she gained a lot of popularity by saying those things. And everybody was applauding her. She was winning, until a moment when she decided to say the same thing to a group of people that will not accept the nonsense. When she decided to open her mouth, and she didn't even say a lot of bad things toward the Jewish community, and you saw what happened to her. So that's how certain people respect themselves. So Candace Owens, you cannot just go there and sit down and start, and right now she's saying she's investigating the identity of Kamala Harris. It's the similar thing when other people, remember during Barack Obama candidacy, people were investigating his birth certificate. Trump was doing that. And Trump actually gained a popularity by doing that, by investigating, by saying he's not an American, by saying that he wasn't born in America. He's a Kenyan, he was born outside of America and all of that. That's what Trump was doing, and that's how Trump become very popular. And so everything that Candace Owen is doing right now is not something new. And she's doing it based on the popularity because she knows there's a group of people that would like her to do that kind of investigation. Just like the way she decided to go after BLM, Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter was an organization that rose into popularity during the Trump presidency. When during the Trump presidency, there's a moment here in America whereby black teenagers were being unalived, because Trump was in the power, left and right. Police and shooting was happening left and right. People getting unalived. You remember those days? And then you have an organization that came out and rose and it start disrupting the nature of the things. And many people, many conservative channel didn't like that organization, and people like Candace Owens knew that, and then they decided to go and investigate. Oh, what are the leaders of Black Lives Matter do, and where do they get their finances, how corrupt they are, and all of that nonsense. So she's doing it right now. Candace Owens is just, she knows what she's doing. She's a smart woman. She built her career based on the talking point that I'm telling you, that she knows there's a group of people in the conservative community that want to say some things, but they cannot say, they are saying these things, but they want somebody who is in that community to say the thing that they're feeling. And Candace Owens and people like her play that role very perfectly. And people were applauding her. Everybody was like, wow, what you're saying. And the Arab community were applauding her. The Jewish community were applauding her. The white community were applauding her. Every other community, the Indian community were applauding her, until she made a mistake to try to question the Jewish community. A fraction of she got canceled. Everybody canceled her. Nobody listened to her. She doesn't have a popularity like she used to have. They wanted her just to talk bad to a certain group of people, not other group of people. That's my analysis. Again, Sky, I'm just observant. I'm observing the nature of American politics, and the nature of Western politics. That's what I'm observing. So Candace Owens is just like a very smart lady. She's building her career on saying shit like that, investigating people who are, and it doesn't matter whether it is Kamala Harris, even if next time, even like if you have another black person, they will be investigating. They will be investigating that black person. That's what it is. And so, once again, my advice, what is going on behind me? Nothing. I'm just investigating. So, once again, if the Republican want to, it's very easy. Like I was telling you, me, myself, I'm very critical toward the black community. I'm telling you that black African are also, yeah, you have to be very careful talking this kind of subject that we're talking about. You have to be very careful. You have to watch your surroundings. We living in Chicago. Chicago is one of those countries, those states that are very divided. It's very divided through like a racial line. What about black people? What about them? Black people, if you want to tell me, like, the criminality, everything that, for me, the way I see it, as somebody who's coming from outside, the way I see it is that black people, like it's just, black people are the people, black American, not black people. There's a difference between black people as African. We people who are living in Africa, we have a different treatment. You wanted to say something about black people in Africa. I forgot what I was trying to say, but I was saying that for me, like, I think like the black people, the black American, for instance, the black American were put, they were living under embargo. My investigation tell me that, like the embargo that the European, the NATO did on Libya, the government of Libya, no business, nobody's doing business. Or like, let me give another example, an embargo that is done on Zimbabwe. You see how it killed their economy? Or the one that is done on Cuba. You see how the economy was unalive? Black people, actually, there's an embargo inside the United States of America that is called urban area. And just until very recently, the country was divided into two. Just like it's similar to South Africa also. where you have black people, like after when when they fought them after the slavery, all of them ran from the south, from the state, from conservative state. They came toward north, and all of them, they're living in a center of the city. They call it urban area. And then once there's an influx of those black people coming to Chicago, New York, Harlem, New York, Chicago, south side of Chicago, all of that, the white people start going out, and then the businesses start pulling, the white people start pulling out businesses. You can see the example of what I'm talking to you if you go to a city, a place called Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana is like an urban, it's like a majority, 60-70% black people. And Gary, Indiana is where Michael Jackson was born. That city is destroyed. It used to be like, a industrial hub of Indiana. But because the majority of the population is black people, they pull out the economy of that country. Even Detroit, Michigan, the reason why the industry in Michigan were pulled out, they would rather they send it to China. All of those jobs were sent to China than living in Michigan, is because majority of the people in Detroit are black people. Let's just tell it. So what I'm telling you, the black Americans found themselves in embargo. They moved, they ran away, they came to the urban area, and then the people, the resources were pulled out of those urban area. The resources were pulled out of those urban area, and then those urban area become like, that's what they call ghetto. Those urban area, become like they invented, so it's just criminality. If you don't have any business, if you don't have any opportunity in the neighborhood, the only thing that is left is just criminality. They were selling drugs like from 60s to 80s until very recently. Even right now, just right now that the urban area is being broken down now. There's a small investment that are coming, because there's a lot of big colleges, like big university are coming in those neighborhoods now. They are investing. So the reason why you see a lot of criminality in the neighborhood of black people is because they were under embargo. It's just like Venezuela and Cuba. It's just embargo, but within a country. Majority of the white people left the urban area. They are living in a suburb, and then they left the center of the city by the black people. And so black people developed their own, even the way they speak, the English that they speak, the broken English or the rap music, all of it was created in in this kind of environment. But now it's been broken. Now there's influx of social media, and so now those urban is being broken. So now maybe 150 years from now, those black now will be they will come back. The criminality will be reduced, and they will be, because right now the social media force the society to accept, to break that embargo, so they're no longer isolated. So that's that for me. That's my analysis of the situation of black American, is that they've been put under the embargo without economical opportunity at all, and so they were left to do what they have to do in order to survive. And so most of them got involved into drugs, weed, and then they created a lot of things. And now, and that's how they, but nowadays some of them are getting out of those ghettos and creating and going outside and finding businesses. And some of them are even started traveling. So that's how it is. It's just like, and I tell majority of my African, yeah, they're getting out of criminality. Criminality, like I'm telling, criminality is just like a symptom of lack of opportunity. A symptom of lack of opportunity. Just like in South Africa, the ghetto area in South Africa, where the apartheid South Africa left you, where you guys are concentrated, there will be criminality, because there's no business, there's no opportunity. Those people will be poor. And so South Africa is similar to black American. So South African who are there after the apartheid, they will start coming out very soon. Some of them, like a majority of them, they grew up without opportunity, didn't go to school. Just, do whatever you do, whatever you need to do in order to survive. That's the condition which they emerged. Just like, like the apartheid South Africa, they emerged from, after this is the impact of apartheid of South Africa. That's what you see in South Africa. And similarly, you have black American who, like, after the civil rights movement in the 60s, after fighting that, yes, there's no segregation no more, but they still have their town. They still have their area where they only live by themselves. They have their code of you know what I mean? This is where you find the gangster. Everybody is leading the community. Like a gangster. People come out of community doing criminality, and they become the controlling area, neighborhood. That's how it is. Even right now, if you go to Chicago, some of this area, you will find that. Black African together, and there will be Black African are very judgmental too. Didn't someone get shot on the stream just recently? Yes, yes, that's, and you see that the area where that person got shot is like reserve home, those home of the black, what do you guys call it actually? That area, that neighborhood. I had a police officer that saw me. He told me that be careful, don't sit around this area. This is an area, you always find police around that area. So those areas have been broken down. Those areas around downtown, they've been broken down. And now these people, the majority of people who are left there are very old. And so the government is watching after them, because these people are already, their case is they're already lost. Those are the people that were born in the 60s. They don't have any skill necessary. So they're living on the government support and all of that. So I'm telling you, but there's a new generation that is coming that are getting out of those areas to go outside. That's my investigation. That's my analysis of the situation of Black Americans. Didn't someone get shot and on a stream just recently? What did you think of Ta-Nehisi Coates' new book on the message? I saw that blog. Black American. There's a similarity. I always think of a similarity of situation between Palestinian, Black American, and Black South African. And you can see it, and that's the reason why Black American tend to support Palestinian, and Black South African tend to support Palestinian. But you may not find the same sympathy in Kenya, and people of Kenya, because people of Kenya doesn't have the experience that you guys, Black South African, had, or Black American had. And so Ta-Nehisi, and sometimes it's good. It gives you, you guys have sympathy. You guys know what it feels like to be under marginalized, or under the state apartheid state in case of South Africa, or Black American, or Jim Crow, kind of a state in Palestine. So that's the reason. This is where Ta-Nehisi is coming from. He's coming from, if you read, he's coming from the, he's remembering his experience, because most of Black American, they're comparing the police brutality, they're comparing what happened to them to what is happening to Palestinian. This is where his philosophy is coming from. So I don't expect him to do better than what he did. I think and then many people are mad about him. I mean, your experience in life shape who you are. You know what I mean? So Ta-Nehisi is emerging from Jim Crow America, and he studied that, he know that, and he's always gonna look at the Israeli-Palestinian crisis using the lens of Jim Crow America, and also South African is also, but not to the extent. Not to the extent of South African. You can see the amount, you can even see it in the debate. Many African, yes, I agree with you. Many African are supporting Palestinian, but you can see that the people who are very into it, even Palestinian themselves, their investment is toward South Africa, Black South African and Black American, more than any other African countries. And you can see that countries like Uganda, they've been criticized because when South Africa took Israel to international court, you see a judge from Uganda, he voted for Israel. He was siding with the Israeli government. So in Africa, and other side of Africa, when people are siding with siding with either Palestine or Israel based on the religion. So majority of Africa, if you go to Senegal, Mali, Nigeria, all of those guys, their support is based because force is coming from religion background. Or you'll find some people from Cameroon who are supporting Israel is because they're Christian. But for Black American, and Black South African, it is coming because they experience that kind of treatment. So that's why they strongly. That's why South Africa was the first country to take Israel to international court, and then that's why also the number one Black community that support Palestinian financially is African American. African American, you see their organization, they supporting heavily, they're spending more than $10 million in Palestinian causes, So, but other African countries though is very different. That's why when I saw a debate between South African and Kenyan and Ugandan, and when I saw even Malema, Julius Malema was criticizing some of African leaders who are silent on what is happening in Palestine. You need to know from where they're coming from. You need to understand from where every person that you see, you need to know the background from where they're coming from. Their policy is not going to be very far away from where they're coming from. So for people, for people in Kenya, for the president Ruto from Kenya, for him, you see him like, many Africans were criticizing him because he went to Israel. And he was like, he's very kind with Israel. Even people like Malema were criticizing him. You have to understand that Ruto in Kenya, they are very close to Dinka. Dinka is South Sudan. South Sudan, which is like people, these are the darkest people darkest people on planet Earth. The darkest black people. So Ruto is coming from that tribe, like the Dinka, and then like they're related to, they have the extended tribe is in Kenya and in Uganda, all of those guys. And Ruto is a guy who was born in the 60s. He witnessed how the organization, the Arab, maltreated, before South Sudan get their independence, they fought like for almost 100 years. So Jangaran, those are people who look like Ruto. They were fighting the Arab in Sudan to get their independence. He witnessed how they maltreated their people and how this country managed to get the independence. And South Sudan right now, how they are very anti-Arab. So you need to know, so Ruto is coming from that background. So he is not going to be kind to all Palestinian causes. You need to understand that. So that's what Malema failed to understand. This person is coming from a completely different background. He doesn't have your background. He didn't experience what you guys experience as apartheid. He doesn't see it like that. He's just witnessing that these are people who are maltreating the extended part of my tribe in Africa until we got our independence. And now, I'm not gonna go and support their causes. I'm not gonna go and support the Arab causes after all what they did to us. You see, so that's the background where certain people are coming from, and that's the reason why I'm telling many, when I see the debate, African condemning other African about why they support or oppose Israeli. You need to know where they're coming. You need to investigate. You need to know where they're coming from. Like if you don't know the background that I give you about Ruto and his tribe, the Dinka, and the civil war, the South Sudan, how South Sudan and Sudan. How South Sudan got their independence from Sudan, you will never understand where people like Ruto, people from Uganda, why they're siding with Israel, for instance. Even though they don't like, it's not like they like Israel, it's because they're coming from a perspective that is different. Or even the Ethiopian case. Everybody is different. Everybody is different. Our cases, our problems are not unique, are not like, we have different experiences. And based on those experiences, we act upon those experiences. So if you see black Americans supporting Palestinians because they don't want to associate with anything, and first of all they will see, okay, their government, the white community support Israel. So because the white community is maltreating the black American in America, so the black American automatically will say, okay, we would rather support Palestine. The enemy of your enemy is your friend. So that's the way they go. And South African is also similarly. South African also will say, oh, okay, these people, many of the apartheid sympathizer, many of the apartheid people, the white people in South Africa who are apartheid, who are colonizers of South Africa, sympathize with Israel. So let us do the opposite. We will sympathize with Palestine. This is the global politics, man. That's why I'm telling you guys. That's what I'm telling you. Nothing is easy. We're living in a not one dimension, three dimensional. Where you have to there's a lot of factors that are involved in it. There's a lot of factors that are involved in it. And I feel like right now Palestinians have learned their lessons, but many people, black people, will ask those of us who are very close to who read the Arab history. Who have the Arab invasion of North Africa, and how is it that in Egypt right now the fight between Afrocentric people who think the Egyptian history is an African history, that Arab invaded the continent and took over. And people who are in Sudan, people African who are in Mauritania, who saw how Arab came in Mauritania. Mauritania used to be like, a black African places, and then Arab came there, in Libya even. So, and this is it, and that's the reason, and that's the reason why Netanyahu, you see, Netanyahu was telling African that when I free Israel, I will come to Africa and help African free themselves. And many Africans were crying, what is he talking about? He's using that same logic that, he knows that, okay, there's the Arab, there used to be Arab and Islamic conquest that conquered all of the Middle East and majority of the North African until it reached Spain, but Spain managed to get, to reconquer their land and back, but North Africa lost their cause and got Islamized. So he knows all of that background. So on one hand, you don't want to see innocent Palestinian who have nothing to do, dying, like they, being unalive. And then on the other hand, you look at the history of the region, how the ancestors of those people did, what they did in that territory. It's very complicated. It's very complicated. You just have to use your humanity. That's what I was telling people, that, we need to just forget about what happened in the past and just have an open borders in the Middle East. Allow those people to live, to have just like, because everybody, even people from Africa, used to live in North Africa, in Middle East, the place where we call Middle East. And for me, I was having a debate. I was thinking of this. I was saying that the reason why the Middle East and North Africa will never have peace is because the ancestor that used to own, there's a lot of innocent people that got unalive in that territory. So everybody is like, that place is being hunted by the spirit of the ancestor that used to own that land. Unless if people can go back and sit down and pray, so that those ancestors, the Pharaoh, those are very spiritual people. You cannot have people, coming an invasion where there's no law. Invasion of people, women, men see their head being cut off, children cut off. Some of us ran to deep in Africa, and then you come there and sit down, you conquer that land and sit down and live peacefully. The spirit of those people are hunting the territory. So for me, my vision, even though I'm not a religious person, I feel like the whole Middle Eastern territory need to sit down and they need to understand that there's something that is wrong with that area where they live in. The reason why there's a lot of crisis that is happening is a spiritual region. People need to sit down and understand what is going on, ask themselves what is going on, what is happening. They need to ask for forgiveness, because those ancestors that were, innocent people that were unalive, innocently unalive by invaders, they're coming back. Their spirit is still in those lands. And that's why, and as long as their spirit is still on those lands, people of those lands will never see peace. A lot. Not only killed, not only unalive, but also castrated. Majority of people that you see in Saudi Arabia, the slaves that used to be taken from Africa, from Zanzibar, from North Africa, from Sudan, all of those slaves, when they go to Arabia, they get castrated. They were working, they just like, for the benefit, for the sake of the, as a man, you get castrated. They don't want you to multiply. They don't want you to reproduce, so they castrate you. So you go there just working as an animal. So not only slave, it's like, they returned some of our ancestors into like, animal. So all of that, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying there's a lot of blood in that territory of Middle East, and people need to sit down. People of this territory, they need to sit down. They need to understand that they will never see peace until they sit down and they ask for forgiveness, and then until they find a right prayer, where the spirit of the ancestors that used to live on those lands, forgive them, ask for forgiveness, because the pharaohs, those people, they are very spiritually strong, and even though you think you unalive them, you think you won, but the spirit is still hunting. It's like a ghost. It's like a lot of ghosts in the Middle East of innocent people that are hunting those territories. Well, it's just like, it's just like a conquest, right? It's just like conquest, just like Native American, you have people who are organized. Back in the days, people were organized. Like imagine, it's not you're weak or you're not weak. Some people didn't have the notion of fighting. If you see how the war used to start, people were not organizing. People were living peacefully. You know, majority of Africa, people used to live peacefully. People were not organizing. Didn't see bigger pictures. And then you have a group of people that organize, and you wake up one day and then you find people invading your territory. People coming with with horses, and then what do you do? What do you do? Majority of the time, like, you know, if you go and investigate the story of Genghis Khan, the Mongol Empire, how it started, you can see how it started. It was primitive. You know, you have a fight between two tribes or between two neighborhoods, and then the Genghis Khan, the initiator of that Mongolian Empire, he fight with his neighbor, we can call it actually neighbor, and he won that fight, and because he grouped his family, his friend, he went to the neighbor or the other tribe, and he was able to win. And then when he won, what he did, he took all the neighbor, the people, the children, or the people that were living in that neighborhood, all of them become his army, and then that's how he started. So those people, and his army is getting big, and then they invade another city, and then they annihilate people, and then take people, and then conquest that land, and then get their armies getting bigger, and then they're doing that, you know, territory by territory, and then country by country. That's how. So you sitting in China, and then out of nowhere you hear that there's an army that is coming. Either you surrender or you are dead. It's spooky, but Africa ran away. Spooky, hunting. Fury Fatal. We are now involved in a politic of stories and all of that nonsense. Yeah. We're talking about what happened in the past, man. But I'm saying that I'm not a religious person, but I believe that there's a lot of bad in a medieval area. There's a lot of terrible things that happen to human beings, and those human beings, I still feel that their spirit is still alive. So African didn't run away. African, like any other group of people, running away is not like people think, oh, these people are very weak, that's the reason why they got conquered. No, it has nothing to do. Yeah. Evan Rockwell, yeah. People think that, oh, Africans are very weak no, it's not. It has nothing to do with weakness or strength. It has to do with the philosophy where you're coming from. People from different regions have different conflicts. So, like I was telling you, what initiated Mongol Empire is just a fight between two neighbors. A fight between two neighbors. The initiator, the Genghis Khan himself, initiated. You know, he grouped his brothers and his siblings. His brothers and around the city, and he went and won the war, and then they start gathering people, and then he's doing that and taking village by village, and then country, and then out of nowhere, look at China. And it was believed that China built the wall because of the Genghis Khan. So out of nowhere, it becomes just like something that they do it for fun. They already used to fighting, and then they come into your territory. You give up, or you run away, or they come and unalive your men and then take your daughters as concubine. That's what it is. So it has nothing to do with the power or it just has to do with I think the condition of the place where you live in. I'm always wondering why black people left the Arab take over the Egypt, Morocco. European kicked them out of Europe. I'm telling you, very recent, even after the Arab conquest, European came there. Majority of Africa is very huge. It's a continent. It's the second largest continent, and it was unpopulated. Majority of it was unpopulated. People didn't see the reason. I think the condition, the harshness of an environment force people to become very tough people. So in Africa, it's it's a raining forest. It's not cold. People are eating. There's not a lot of people. There's no need for them to fight. In countries like Europe, the condition it was terrible. You have a lot of people didn't have food. You have the weather there is very cold. So people are forced to fight between themselves, and then that's how you form an empire. An empire is not something that is organized. People are fighting between themselves. Neighbors are fighting, and then the stronger win, and then he keep expanding. That's what empire is. It's just tribalism that becomes something that is global. So I don't see African running. I see that back in the days, and the population, just right now, Africa population is similar to Indian population. So even right now, Africa is a continent while India is a country. Even though people are saying that African are having a lot of baby, right now Africa is like around 1.7, even a little bit bigger than India now, 1.7 billion people, the whole continent. Whereas like, you know, India and China, the two countries in Asia are bigger than Africa. So they, you know, you have to understand, back in the day, there's not a lot of people, and people are living in tribal group, you know, tribal group. You find like maybe maximum of family, maybe 20 people maximum in one place. So it's easy for you to hunt them, to conquer them. 20 people in one village. And then people are not united. Everybody is just like, you know, after their family. 20 people in one place. You finish with them and then you go next. 20 people in another place. Maximum 100 people, 200 people. Back in the days, the cities that people consider as big cities, majority of them have maybe 1,000 people. Maximum 1,000 people. I'm always wondering why black people left the Arab European, kicked them out. But at the time also, we must admit that Arab were well organized. No, Arab were not well organized. Arab just, you know, like the circumstances. The circumstances make you who you are. Arab were also just like African. The majority of Arab ancestors were actually African. Because Arab is like something mixture between Mediterranean people and African people. But Arab before Islam, they were just like African. But they were lucky that they were living in a territory that was into business of creating religion. You know, business of religion. They found themselves like surrounded by people that were creating religion, and the religion was a big business. And then they created their own, and they used that thing that was uniting them. And they used religion to force people, and because what they did was, religion was strong back in the days, because religion is claiming there's something outside of us. You know, something outside God, something outside is ordering you to do this. So they got a valid reason to fight. So they were just lucky, you know, coincident. They were lucky to be around a group of people, a Jewish people, who were trading, who were doing business in, whose business were actually creating religion and forcing people to worship. So they did a business of religion and creating a new religion, and used that religion to conquer the land, because to get their empire. Yeah, business of creating religion. And you know where they got that business of creating religion? All of them got it in Egypt. When Egypt, like, you know, was the well organized Egypt, which is African were the first one. You know, we are the first monotheistic. Like I was telling you guys the other day, is an Egyptian pharaoh. And again, it's not like, it's not saying that, we're not saying that the Egyptian religion is the true religion, but we're just saying that Egypt was the first, was the very well developed in terms of creating religions. So they were creating, Egypt was also into business of creating religion and controlling people, using religion to control people. And so based on that, one pharaoh decided to say, okay, in order to unify Egypt, he decided, okay, it's time for me to tell you guys that I'm the pharaoh, I'm the messenger of the God, I'm the only representative of God on planet Earth. He wanted to unite every pastor, every religious leader in Egypt, because every group of people, every tribe in Egypt, they were united and were worshiping, you know, they were united around their leader. So in order for him to unite, to become the most powerful, he said, okay, I'm the, you know, all of this religion that you guys have affect, mine is the truest one. And so you guys, you know, you guys need to be worshiping me, because I'm the representative of God. So this is the birth of monotheism. And they developed that religion. They were into business of creating religion and selling and controlling people, until the Jewish people came there and took the 10 Commandments, which is like a copy paste from Egyptian things in Egypt. And they start developing. Jewish people are also like people like us, like African. That's how the Jewish kingdom, that's the birth of Jewish kingdom. Coming to Egypt, Moses copy pasting, plagiarism, copy pasting, like, you know, the 10 Commandments from Egyptian wall, and then putting in and then creating a religion out of it, and then going back to Israel, and then that's how. And then after him, you know, people wrote a lot and developed that thing, and then later on, you have a person, another Jewish person, who came and said that that religion that you guys created is it need to be updated. he created a new thing called Christianity, and he was unalive. And then later on, Muslim took it and then created something Islam. That's the business of religion. Business of creating religion in order to control people. So he was a Messiah. Who was a Messiah? I mean, for Moses, he is a Messiah for them, for the Jewish people, because because of him, Jewish people got the power that they got today. Without Moses, there's no him. But they need to give it. Also, they need to pay tribute to Egyptian, because without Egypt, Moses will never get that 10 commandment that he got, because we all know, since we live in the 24th century, that the 10 commandment is just like a copy paste from Egyptian myth and mythology. And this is where they got it. So, and the Mount Sinai, all of the temple of all of the places, the birthplace of Judaism is in Egypt. Yes, he's the first one. He's the first one to create. Like I was telling you, it's not like we're not saying that to say that okay, the Egyptian religion was the true religion. There's no true religion. All of it is just a business. Like I was telling you, Egypt used to be a polytheistic nation, polytheistic empire, but the Pharaoh that created the notion of monotheism, that Pharaoh realized that without creating just one religion, having one God, so that everybody can unite around that God, then his kingdom will be breaking into a smaller portion. Polytheistic, everybody with their religion and their leader. So he decided, based on that, is a political decision. He decided that he needed to unify Egypt. So he decided to tell them that I'm the Messiah, I'm the messenger of God, and the religion that I have is the only one and true religion, and I'm representative of the God that is out there, and he's the only God, and he made it clear so that he can send a strong message to other religious group around Egypt in the days that everything that you're doing, all the God that you're worshiping is a fake God. So you guys need to actually follow me. You guys need to, and that's why the demonization of pharaohs. And then when Moses tried to use the same business, he wanted to do a coup in Egypt. This is me reading it backward. This is, don't take me. I'm telling you what happened. When Moses decided that he wanted to do a coup, he wanted to do the same thing. And Egyptian, being that they're very familiar with business of creating religion, using religion to control people, they told him it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So like they're smarter than him. Every time you try to create something in a population that is very smart, that is very familiar with the thing that you're creating, they're gonna tell you you're wrong. And you can see the reason why Jesus was unalive is because he was trying to create a religion in a population in a community that is very well aware of they were into business of creating religion in order to control people. That's the conflict between Jesus and his people. The synagogue people, the religious leader at the time with the Rome, they know what Jesus was trying to do, because even right now you guys call Jesus as the king. So for him, if he was to accept it by the Jewish people, meaning that he become the leader, the king of that Jerusalem. That's what he was trying to be. It's a coup. It's a political coup. And so they knew that. That's why they decided to unalive him. They give him opportunity to repent. He rejected because he wanted that political power, and they decided to unalive him. Similarly, in Egypt, Moses wanted to do that similar. If you read the book how the conflict between Moses and Pharaoh at the time, you will understand is a conflict that Moses was trying to do a coup to take the leadership of the Egypt. But the Egyptian, they were more educated than the Jewish people and the Moses. So you cannot come and create a business, do a business that we the people know. We are the one who created it. Egyptians are the one who created it. So you cannot come and create a religion, say that, oh, I'm the messenger of God. Hey, I'm having this. Pharaoh know that. They told him, you know what? We're not gonna unalive you. We're not very terrible people, but we're gonna kick you out of this thing. That's Exodus. That's the kicking out of Moses. So he's getting kicked out, and you can realize that Moses never came out with that. He never declared the 10 commandment until when he was going out, because he knew that if he declared that 10 commandment, he will be, because Egyptians are very well educated. They know that they will tell him that, oh, this thing you took it word for word from our scripture. So he didn't do that. He waited until when he was about to go and he was among the people that are very unlearned people, which is Jewish people. And then he decided to come with the thing, with the plagiarism that he has. So he didn't show them when he was still among the educated, because Pharaoh actually gave him an opportunity. It's like a debate. Pharaoh, these are Egyptians are very, very educated people. Pharaoh gave him an opportunity to present his case, to prove to them that he's a messenger of God. If you read, if you read if you read the scripture, you will see the debate where Pharaoh, where Moses was like, you know, throwing his I forgot his not a stone, I forgot the thing, throwing it, you know, the snake things and all of that, is to demonstrate that he's a prophet from God. But he fell because he's among a very well-educated people, and so he got kicked out. And then when he was going out, because there's a lot of Jewish people who also are a little bit educated, he came back, he found that there are certain Jewish people who are worshipping, who created a religion, they were worshipping cows. This one also is a religious of Moses, Egyptian religions. And then he came with a 10 Commandments, which is a plagiarism, a copy paste from Egyptian mythology, and he gave it to Jewish people. And that's the creation of Judaism. And then when after years, you know, century, and then we have another guy who came, and I'm from right now I'm in Chicago, but I'm originally from Cameroon. Bomba class is in the house. Where did you get that information? That information you need to read. Like I was in Egypt. I live in Egypt for 14 years. You need to read. If you don't, that's the reason why, like all the Abrahamic religious people, if you don't go and read the Egyptian mythology, you don't understand where your religion is coming from. Majority of the things that you say, that you think you are saying, that you don't know the meaning, all of them, if you didn't read the mythology that existed in the Middle East, you will never understand the deep down, the concept, where your religion is coming from. I was telling somebody, I was asking a question the other day, where do you guys think Amen is coming from? Like when you Christian people finish your prayer, you say Amen. When the Jewish people finish their prayer, they say Amen. When Muslim finish their prayer, they say Amen. Who is Amen? Nobody will tell you. Everybody is interpreting. Christian will tell you different thing, and Jews will tell you different thing, and then Christian will tell you different thing. But Amen is for you. When you read the Egyptian mythology, you will understand. So there's a deity that is called Amun, Amun Ra. So you'll understand that. Understanding that will help you understand where did they get all of that. Amin or Amun is a name of Egyptian deity that they call it. They themselves don't know because they copy-pasted. They copied from the Egyptian. That's why until today, they keep saying Amin. In Muslim, they say Arra. Arra. When Muslims are praying, they say Arra. They don't know. When you ask them, they say, oh, he's a god. But Ra is an Egyptian deity. Amun Ra. So Amun Ra, this is in Egyptian mythology. So if you don't go, son of Soweto, if you don't go to Egypt, if you don't read Egyptian mythology, you will never understand what you're worshipping. That's my question to you. What are your thoughts about Israelis? I'm telling you, we were just talking about Israeli. We were talking about the business of creating religion and how religion was used to give them impact, to give them power around the world. And I was telling you that the Jewish people coming to Egypt and learning the Egyptian mythology and copying some of it, Moses when he was going back, copying some of the Egyptian mythology and creating a new religion in Israel was the birth of Jewish empire, Abrahamic religion. And then later on, Arab also, they have a revolutionary guy by the name of Muhammad who is very well. For me, I see these people as people who help their people. So without Muhammad, the Arab now will not have the land that they have. So Muhammad is a very smart dude, a very revolutionary dude who understood what religion is all about. He decided to use the same method that the Jewish people use against Egyptian. Jewish people went and plagiarized Egyptian mythology. Muhammad also plagiarized the Jewish people mythology and created something that is unique. It is like independent, unique for Arab. Unique for Arab. So that's the business of religion. And prior to Muslim coming and creating their Jewish, Jewish guys wanted to create a new thing, which is Christianity, and it didn't go very well. What are your thoughts about Israeli? Hey, hold on, bro. I'm Muslim. We never say When you say you're Muslim, okay, let me tell you. When you say Bismillahi Ar-Rahmani Ar-Rahim, do you know what is the meaning of Ar-Rahmani Ar-Rahim? So Bismillah. When you're starting to read the Quran, you start with Bismillah. Allah is the word which is, you know, like this is, and then you go Ar-Rahim. And then when you finish your Alhamdulillah, Surah Al-Fatiha, they call it the opening, the Surah Al-Opening. When you finish it, when you say Wala Balin, why do you say Amin? I was explaining to you where Amin is coming from and where Ar-Rahman is coming from. And if you want to know where all of this thing is coming from, you need to know the mythology that exists in Egypt. Do I remember you? Long time I didn't come, so I don't remember you. Son of Soweto, are you still there or you ran away? We started from politics, we jumped into religion, and now we are here into business of creating religion. I live in a Muslim, I used to be a Muslim, I live in a Muslim country for 14 years, so I know everything. I know all of it. I know very well Islam. So as a Muslim, go and ask your leader, ask them what does Ar-Rahman mean? They will tell you that, you know, is a most merciful. Ar-Rahim, most, like they will tell you the definition of it. But Ar-Ra, or ask your religious leader, what is Amin? They will tell you, oh, you're just saying that you're asking God a favor to worship. But Amin is a name of a deity, is a name of God. His name is Amon. So that's why every Egyptian back in the day, when they go and worship, it used to be back in the day, they say Amun. When they're in a church, the Egyptian church, they used to say Amun. They call it the name of deity. And then all of this Abrahamic religion inherit that deity. So it becomes like every time you pray, you finish your prayer by Amin, Amon, Amen, Amen in English. Pranith, MB, bro, I'm Sam. Oh, Sam, welcome back, Sam. So now, are you an artist? Yeah, you can call me an artist if you want to, but I'm just teaching people. But my friend that I was actually trying to talk to, a son of Soweto, he ran away because he's a very good Christian. Heavy rain in Bangalore. Okay, heavy rain in Bangalore. Hit the thumbs up, Mr. Bangalore. So guys, today we got involved in a lot of debate, and we went back to story to old days to see what was happening in the days, back in the days, man. And that's that. Oh, son of Soweto, are you still there? Oh, you gone? It is Bangalore. You know the meaning of Bangala in French? Bangala. Let me see. Bangalore. But what is Bangala in French? Bangala. Let me see. Heavy rain in Bangalore. It is Gambang. No, Bangala. Bangala. You know what is Bangala? Like if you say Bangalore, Bangala. Bangala is like it's saying penis. So be careful, don't say Bangala in front of a Haitian or French guy. It is gangbang. Six people are watching. Thank you. Lilian Garcia. I just checked. You checked what? There's a word in and there's a word in yeah, there's a word in when somebody say tombangala, that's an insult in French. That's an old French word and an insult. When they say tombangala, can I spell what? Bangala? Let me look for. When you, oh okay, Bangala. I think Bangala is BANGLA. I think so. But I'm just telling you, like if you tell somebody Tombangala, that's an insult. That's like saying your penis. Instead of saying like this is a way of saying penis, but it's a not polite way. It's not polite way. Why you run? Why are you running? No. Why are you running, son of Soweto? Oh, I'm so sorry. Life is terrible. We are all heading toward that. We all will disappear one day. One day or another, we will be gone. All of us will be gone. No word for sure. Well, I'm gonna give you Tombangala. Tombangala. I'm trying to see the spelling. I think I'm spelling it wrong. Why you wanna go to South Africa? Oh, because you wanna go and you have to be careful, man. Are they gonna allow you? Your employees, are they gonna allow you to travel a lot? Who? She's gone, man. This is she's gone. She's gone. Oh, you think so? Thank you, son of Soweto. Thank you. Even though you ran. When I started talking about the business of creating religion, the business of creating religion and controlling masses of people, you guys ran. Zola de Gaulle. Zola is now working for Amazon, man. Jump and ask any random girl name. This is just for your viewers. Bro, I cannot jump and ask random girls. You know, here people can, people are crazy, man. No, it's not a delivery. He work in a warehouse. He work in a warehouse job. By the way, he's a doctor in Congo. You see how people, how being in a foreign land make you, reduces you. You know, he's a doctor. He started practicing medicine before moving to immigrating to USA here, because he's coming from French-speaking side. His degree is not useful. So he's working as though he doesn't have anything.
She was telling me this lady's getting sent to the south.
Nothing will happen, man. Yeah. Is he lazy? He's not. He's one of those guys, one of the toughest people I've ever known. He's one of the toughest people. He's one of the toughest people, so he's not lazy. He's not lazy. Don't be scared. I'm here for you. I'm scared of what? Of talking to people? I don't know, man. I don't see the benefit. I don't see the benefit. Someone told me that Congolese peoples are not very smart academically. Cameroonian are top. I heard it. I heard this globalizing, putting people in one. It's just like a stupid way of doing that. A stupid way of doing that. You cannot just go ahead and label a country, the whole country, as not as smart. This is not the way things work. You know the amount of again, we're talking about Africa, tribal. People are different. People are different. There's different people with different intelligence. Cameroon also, there's different people with different intelligence. You can find a smartest person in Congo and a dumbest person in Cameroon, and vice versa. So it's just like people just want to generalize. This is that's what the Western country does, though. Like they go right now, they have this intelligent measure. They say that the IQ level of sub-Saharan African. Back in the days, the Western, the European and American, they used to label all Africa. They used to label all Africa as people without intelligence. And then when they realized that they are huge, the Greek civilization is based on North African civilization, like that the Greek, their father, who's like, who's considered the Western people's fathers, is actually they went to North Africa and picked up some knowledge over there. Now they changed it. Now they divided Africa into two parties. They call people sub-Saharan Africans. So when they wanna use derogatory word, they use the IQ level, the average IQ. You see it with your people from your people. Elon Musk, he always on Twitter, he always put this a statistic that show that the sub-Saharan African IQ, like they have an IQ average of 70, 75, 76. Like the sub-Saharan African. So like the reason why they do it is because they cannot say all Africa, because they realize that actually the Greek people that they respect so much, actually without Africa, those Greek people will not be where they are. So now they change it. So now they're saying they're dividing Africa into two: sub-Saharan African and North Africa. Why didn't I help who? Zola? Zola is not. He doesn't need my help. He's an independent. He know what he's doing. He's just like at the age that he doesn't feel like he need to. I mean, he's a very very caring person. When you move the nicest people are the people that will accept their fate. He's not very individualistic. So he moved to the United States of America, and he has a lot of. He has a huge family, big family. His dad is no longer there, so he's taking care of those family. His mom, his sibling, his younger brothers, his older sister, his younger sister, and he has a daughter, and he doesn't feel like he has enough time for him to go back to school and get another degree or whatever. So that's his situation. It's just him considering him like not being individualistic. North African civilization. I mean, you have a lot of North African civilization. You have the Egyptian. You have the Carthaginian. How do you guys say Carthaginian? Carthaginian or Phoenician civilization. You have, I mean, all of the Europe, like I was telling you, the Europe and the Europe back in the days before all of these things, Europe and North Africa was an extension of Africa. Do you understand what exactly you are saying? Yes, I do understand what I'm saying, Paranese. What is it that you're not understanding? What is it that you think I don't understand? It's not African civilization and Arab civilization. It's not. You think if it is Arab, it's not an Arab. Arab are very recent. Arab are very recent into that territory. Me and my that's being friend. Why are you angry? I mean, what is the problem of Indian? I feel like Indian people, they always find like they want to defend the Western civilization. Indian always like take it like upon themselves to defend the. Every time you try to like say that you try to say that India. What is your take? What is your? I mean, I don't know why you trying to be mad because I say that the Western civilization is based on African civilization. And Indian, if you want to get mad, let me tell you something. The Hindus religion and the Buddha religion is based on also African mythology. Do you know that India used to be colonized by Africa? India is an extension of Ethiopia. You know that? Ethiopian Empire used to colonize all of the India. Now you can get mad. Africa is just like we are just big, man. It's just Ethiopia is like India, like if you see the Indian people. India, Ethiopia like invaded, colonized or conquered India long before the Mediterranean, like Persian and all of those guys moved to India. Now, Paranith, you got a reason to get mad. I was just talking about the African, North African, and Middle East. You got mad, so now you can jump in. I don't subscribe to any religious belief, and I feel like there's something that nobody know what it is. That maybe sometime maybe there's nothing too, because people are just trying to justify. People are trying to justify our existence by assuming that there's something, there's an entity, there's a big things that is out there that design all of that. Maybe there is, maybe there is not, but you know what I'm 100% sure that nobody, even if there's is something like, you know, kind of like a God that exists somewhere, that thing is actually has nothing to do with what is happening on our planet Earth. So like there's no, it didn't connect, it didn't, like, you know, send a messenger, or didn't have anything. There's no purpose in it. And that thing also, like I was telling one of my live, I was telling you guys, the strongest thing. How is the whip? Why are you coming at me like that today? Why are you coming at me like that? I feel like I pissed off a lot of people today. So like I was telling you guys, the strongest God is actually God without physicality. You know, anything that has anything that has you're good, man. You're good. You know, you're good, man. Just you know, you're free to say. You know, everybody's free to say whatever they want. Today's stream, I'm just it's just open. Just feel free to say whatever you want, and allow me also to say whatever I want. We're trying to make you laugh. Yes. Yeah. So for me, God, if there's a God, like, it has to be the smallest thing. It has to be thing without physicality. It doesn't have a physical aspect to it. But I think there's nothing is stronger than the emptiness. So the God should be like something that is empty, the vacuum, the nothingness. The nothingness is the reason why there's something. How is the car though? Like, the car is good. Is it a creator God? I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, that nothingness is the creator. If you want to take nothingness as the creator God, it is actually, because like even if you assume that there's a God, and you know that God exists in nothingness, right? So nothingness is the reason why your God exists. Even if you assume there's nothing, like that, there's a God, and then there's a God that doesn't have any creator, that means you're telling me that you know, like, your God exists in nothingness, is something that is empty. So that means that empty is stronger than your God, because your God is existing within that empty. Some people will go and say, oh, the God doesn't have a space and time, is unlimited. He's still in nothingness. Unlimited without having a space and time is still nothingness. It doesn't need to, we are trying to, like, you know, we are trying to say that we the human, because we have consciousness. I feel like we are trying to say that we are trying to act as though like everything need to have the consciousness. You know, everything doesn't need to have the consciousness. Oh, my brother, how are you doing today? Yeah, man, nice seeing you today. Everything doesn't need to have consciousness. Like, you know, when you go to, like, you know, the strongest, like I was telling you, the thing that have consciousness, it means that it has like it's limited. Those things that doesn't have a consciousness is always the strongest one. Did you sue the dealership? I didn't. I'm just here. I'm just here. So yeah, I always have debate with people, or religious people, when they tell me, oh, you know, we cannot have all of this existence without having a creator. And then I tell them, okay, let's go with your argument and see where you can stop. Like, even their argument fell at some point, right? You know, like, even if you say that you need an existence, you need a creator to create that existence, you know that your creator is not, like, you are assuming that your creator doesn't have a creator. So you are ready to accept that your creator doesn't have a creator, but you are not ready to accept that the thing that you see doesn't have also creator. So like, if your creator can live without having a creator, then why other thing cannot do the same? So yeah, but again, like, you know, for me, I think, like, you know, even if there's also possibility that maybe we have like some we're living in a matrix. Maybe we are just like video game characters. There's some intelligent being that designers, all of that. But even those intelligent beings, they exist in nothing. So even them, they're living in nothingness. Once again, to prove the point that nothingness is stronger than everything. Without the base, like the substance of existence is actually non-existence. You have to have that nothingness in order for thing to exist. If you don't have nothingness, no existence. Zola is very Christian, even though our arguments, even though he sometimes he tend to accept my argument, and then if there's if he fell, if he's get involved in a crisis, like if he have something like that, he always go back to religion. And I don't blame him for that. This thing, in order to reach the, you don't need somebody to force you. You need to naturally reach that point. For me, I was able to reach that point naturally, and so I don't need any crisis cannot move me. Like for people like Zola, he can tell me that he just believes in spirituality and all of that nonsense. But if he's shaky a little bit, if there's a little bit of crisis in his life, he can go back to calling the name of Jesus. Even though he agrees with me, Angel Gully, God love you so much in Jesus coming soon. It is not too late to come to him and repent and start a new life. Yes, I agree with you. Even though me and Zola, we do agree that I asked Zola a question. I told him that as a Congolese guys, when did you guys get Christianity? And he do agree with me that Christianity was important to him. It came through the mean of colonization and exploitation. And so he was living peacefully until that moment. So he do agree with me that that whole thing, that whole religion that he's worshiping right now, he knows that, he know how he got it. He know how that religion reached them. You know what Belgium did in order for them to accept, and how many hands were cut off. Similarly, my Muslim brothers who are worshiping Allah, they also know how their ancestors were enslaved, castrated in the name of jihad. Yeah, the Carthaginian Empire. The Carthaginian or the Phoenicians settled primarily southern Mediterranean, southern European Castle. But every single tribe on earth had a god. Why? Yeah, every single tribe. Like I was saying, I was telling you, the human being, we are just, from the beginning of time, we're just trying to we're just trying to find something that is bigger than us in order to give our life to it. You know what I mean? We're just trying to find something. It's kind of it gives you it gives some people some sort of meaning, some sort of meaning and hope, like if there's and some sort of control also, back in the days it scared people that there's somebody who can see you, even if you do something terrible, there's a person who will see you doing that terrible, even if the human being are not seeing you. So that's a control. It give you that thing. Back in the days when there's no a lot of security, tell people, okay, if you are a live person, even if we didn't know that you are a live that person, your destiny, there's a creator that is seeing what you're doing, and when you die, you'll be punished. Don't think just because you left. King Hasnimio is back. Welcome back, my friend. Don't think just because we didn't catch you on planet Earth that you will be successful in afterlife. So that's one thing. It gives people, also poor people, like majority of poor people, that you need to, don't worry about what is happening here. You have a second chance. When you disappear, you have a second chance. So that's a hope. It also gives people who are in crisis, like imagine, like I was telling you, Zola, when he is in trouble, he always go back to Jesus. You know what I mean? So some people need something to depend on, something that is not, is not, you cannot see. So there's a lot of dimension to it. There's a lot of different reasons as to why many people around the globe uh, are taking are worshiping deity or God. So creating God to worship. At least that's what I think. But I think in order for you to reach that point, you need to have an open mind. You need to be open-minded individual and come with a blank memory. Come open-minded and accept the nature. Accept what your eyes is seeing. Don't just force. Some people try to resist change. Some people are resistant. Some people are very resistant. They try to resist change. When the change come, they don't want to accept the change. And these people will never learn. These people will just live the way they are until they die. So me, for instance, when the change came to me, I was able to accept. I resisted a little bit, but finally, I was open-minded, and then I accepted. I accepted the change. I accepted, even though I was like, I cannot do it. I cannot do it. My family, I have a lot of things to lose, but I decided to just go ahead and listen to my inner self and my observation, and the universe taught me something. The universe told me that this whole thing that you see is a nonsense. It's nonsense. Stay away from it. And some people ask, okay, what do you get from accepting, from going with what is right? You get nothing. You get nothing. You get hate. That's the reason why many people don't want to leave their comfort zone. Many people don't want to embrace change because, like, let's say you are a religious person, and then you decided to see, you investigated. Do you know that many religious people investigated and they realize that all of this is man-made, but they keep doing what they're doing anyway? Because what do you get from leaving the group? Leaving the group, you know what it means, leaving your family. Everybody that is practicing that thing. And then you just go ahead and say, okay, you know what, this shit is crazy. I'm just gonna leave you. What do you get from doing that? Nothing. The only thing that you get is that you open yourself to the universe. You open yourself to be to be different. To be different, to have a different interpretation. That's what you get. But you don't get anything. So perhaps that's a good reason why people stay, even though they know that religion is just like a man-made, but they stay with it. Wow, I don't know, man. I feel like you guys are forcing me to say shit that I didn't even wanted to say. Me, I'm a peaceful person. But if you guys ask questions, I will be actually answering your question. You guys is still there or what? Kamala Harris is 60 years old, and she's Douglas is 60 years old. Oh, they're around the same age. Oakland, California, man. Kamala Harris and her husband, both of them are from Oakland, California. 2 hour 39 minutes ago. Our live started 2 hour and 39 minutes ago, and we're still going strong. Some of you guys who is subscribed to my channel, I'm just visiting some of my subscribers' channel. Thank you for subscribing to our channel. $1 million for a vote. This guy is posting videos, man. Videos after videos. Thank you for posting, and thank you for doing all of that. Tamino Minini, you're back. Today we talk just about everything that you can actually think of. Religion, spirituality, geopolitics, whatever. We talk just about everything. Except Nigeria, of course. We also talked about the elections. And I frankly told you what my observation as to why shit are like the way they are. Yeah, geopolitics, man. Geopolitics. Son of Soweto just ran away because I touch on Christianity too. And you know, when you touch on Christianity, geopolitics. Hey, do you guys know that a lot of people are thinking that the Gladiator 2 movie that will be coming, that will release on November 22nd, people are praising that movie. People are saying that it is a good movie. So hopefully it's a good movie. I will be, because as you guys know, I like good movies, and it's been a while. I don't go outside to vote for a movie except when it is a good one. The only time that I decide, to go outside is when there's a good movie outside. We just talk about everything, man. Subjects. Everybody's running. Fury Fatal was here. He just ran away. How you doing, man? How is Nigeria? What is going on in Nigeria? This house was so... New minimum wage. Is it going up 85K per month? What does it mean in terms of dollars? 85K is like what? 85K is $100. 85 Nigerian naira. Let me see. Oh, and the national grid collapsed some days back. Whoa. Oh, that's like $52. $52 a month. That's crazy. That is crazy. What is the rent like around that area? How much do you pay, like, you know, for a 2-bedroom and a bathroom? How much do you pay in a month? Oh, 350 per year. Okay, 350 per year. I mean, that means you'll be making around better area can run into $1 million. $1 million naira. Million naira. That's like 600. Wow. Like in some areas, it's about 10 million. 10 million in a year. But in Lagos is gonna be expensive, right? $50 million, okay. Yeah, it is too crowded. The traffic is crazy. The traffic is crazy. But then again, if you live in Nigeria, you need to own your own house, man. You need to build your house. You need to build your house. Lagos traffic is no joke. Yep. I was in Lagos long time ago. Long time ago. I was in Mohammed Murtala International Airport. Mohammed Murtala International Airport. You don't get that much traffic in any state, even while they fix the road. Oh, really? Oh, you mean the state, in any state in Nigeria? Yeah, in Chicago also, in Chicago also we do have like a crazy shit. Crazy things that is happening in Chicago. Crazy traffic, especially right now. Right now is a rush hour. If you take a highway, or even if you take certain road, it's gonna go crazy because Chicago is like a very old city. Very old cities. Most of these roads are not updated. They build, these are the road that, the highway, the road that were built for 150 years ago, 200 years ago, when they had like a few of number of people. And they just updated, they didn't like make it enlarge the road. It's still the same road. So yeah. You don't get that much traffic. The problem with Lagos was the military regime during the 2 years didn't improve on the urban infrastructure. Most of the African capital is just like that. I think we need to just like admit that we need to rebuild everything, because most of African capital are just like are not very well designed, and then we wanna just act like, you know, oh, we have arrived. You know what I mean? You know, you can't just act as you have arrived. You know, you're still at the beginning, so you need to start rebuilding all of those cities. Yeah, it's still though, because the city need a rebuilding because of the generation. They need to look at the future, what is coming in the future, and then based on that they can go ahead and. Abuja is one of the best planned city in the world. Oh, okay, designed by Japanese people. Wow. Wow, that's beautiful. I want my place to be Tokyo. Tokyo is one of those busiest cities. Busiest city in the world, so they know what's up. What is happening to Nigerian currency? Why is it like it going down like that? You guys need to study that. Then again, when you look at the Colombian peso, 1 million, do you know how much 1 million Colombian peso is? Like a $233. God damn. So like Nigerian naira is even better than Colombian. Oh, okay. You think your economy is being sabotaged by the outsiders? Wow. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand the notion that some monies are strong and some are weak. I still don't get it. Like if you look at, we also haven't been able to harness the full potential of our country, man, to stimulate local product that will be sold to the external sectors. I mean, I still don't get it. Like if you look at like, you know, Nigeria, you can say, okay, there's the production, talk about the macroeconomy and all of that, and then you have 1 million Nigerian into, you know, like a war thing. 1 million naira, Nigerian naira, is like equivalent to $500. And then you go to Afghanistan, 1 million Afghani is worth like 15,000. And then you ask yourself if like there's any stability, if like you're talking about macro production, you know that Afghanistan is just coming out of war. You know that they do not produce like as much as Nigeria does, but they still, their currency is stronger. Even the notion that, you know, because your economy depends a lot on oil production, you have a lot of companies, a lot of countries that depend on oil, but still they have a strong. I still don't understand it.
And like,
It is demand for money. Okay, so you're thinking that Nigerians are rejecting their money? Nigerian demand for the money. I mean, look at what happened to Zimbabwe, Zimbabwean money, where like out of nowhere, when they arrived, when the crisis hit the Zimbabwe, it became Zimbabwean, 1 billion Zimbabwean is nothing. Like, how does it happen? Bahrain dinar. So now, if you compare to, for instance, if you compare to the Gulf nation like Bahrain dinar, Bahrain doesn't produce as much as USA, but 1 million Bahrain dinar is equivalent to 2.6 million US dollars. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, people don't use a lot of Bahrain dinar. You know, Bahrain is a country. How many? What is the population? Look at Bahrain. The population of the country is 1.4 million. 1.4 million Bahrain. No, I mean, but then again, when you go back, the strongest currency in the world are the country. I think it's like Kuwaiti dinar. Kuwaiti dinars. This is a small country in that is totally dependent on oil, and they have like, look at Kuwaiti dinar. Like if I say Kuwait dinar. Kuwaiti dinar. You know how much is 1 million Kuwaiti dinar? Is like 2.6 million US dollars. And they don't have the amount of, they depend on oil, and they don't have the amount of production as USA, but their currency is still stronger than USA. So I still don't get it. When people say, oh, it's like that, I feel like the currency thing, I still don't get it. And our pot belly thief are eager to exchange naira for dollar in order to hide their ill-bottom gain. Yeah, but it's still like, you know, the foreign reserve. You know, the foreign reserve, majority of the country around the world, even in the Gulf nation countries, their economy is based on, like, you know, the reserve, the gold they have, the amount of gold they have in their bank, and also the foreign reserve, like dollar. In Egypt, for instance, you know, like they calculate, they tell you, okay, we have, like, you know, 500 billion US dollars, that is cash we have in our bank. So, like, you know, many countries are using it, still their currency is not that weak. Saudi Arabia, they depend on petrol, and they still depend on international currencies. Like in the US currency is the one that is being used. That's now we're talking, because, like, for me now we're talking, now we start talking. It has nothing to do with oil, it has nothing to do, I feel like it has to do, like, you know, I don't know the reason why, you know, if now you're talking, since you're telling me that most currencies are backed by dollars, and which is backed by US government. So now we're talking, now we can try to explain the reason why Zimbabwean currency went from very good, from being very good currency to a 1 billion Zimbabwean being worth nothing, you know. So now we're talking, because it has nothing to do, like, every explanation that they give, you know, they say, oh, they talk about, you know, it depends on your macroeconomy. You have countries that are now struggling, like, you know, Afghanistan, and their currency is stronger than some countries in South America, like Colombia. So let me see. Yeah, but the thing is, like, how did Zimbabwe go from having, like, a very decent currency to a nothing? And what is happening in Congo? Congo, you know, DRC, Congo Kinshasa. What is happening there? How is it that now the whole country is now forced to use the US dollars instead of using their currency? Why is it, like, you know, like, all of it, the rule doesn't apply? Why is, like, countries like Afghanistan have a currency that is stronger than country like Nigeria? Even though we all know that the amount of production that Nigeria has is stronger than, like, you know, the more stable, everything that you can think of economy, you know that Nigeria is stronger. But why is it that Afghanistan have a stronger currency? All of it need to be studied. Iranian. Now look at Iranian. Look at Iranian rial. Do you know how much is Iranian? You know do you know how much is Iranian rial in dollars? Do you know how much Iranian rial? I think it's bigger because look at Iran right now. They went from, okay, you think they, because from farmer who expected stuff to kick those guys, one from farmer who exported stuff to kick in those guys. I think that's a justification, that's a reasoning that is going out there, but I don't think that's the good reason. That's a good reason. That's not a good reason. That's just a justification for people to give the South African countries that this is the reason, this is what will happen to you if you decide to get kicked out to to bring back, to take your land back. That's just a justification. It doesn't have to do like that. The way it went is just, this is, it is bigger than that. And look at Iranian Rial, for instance. Iranian Rial, 1 million Iranian Rial is worth like $23.75. 1 million Iranian Rial is worth to $23. God damn. We can do it. We can do it. 1 million Iranian Rial. Iranian Rial is worth $23. Nah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. The value, what is happening? What is happening to the currency around the globe? Who is controlling those currency? Who's giving them value? Who is making some countries' currency towards just like a paper toilet? Like Zimbabwe went from the currency that is decent currency to a currency that is like you have 1 billion that is worthless. And people are given justification because the farmers, are not, nah. It's not that. Iranian Rial is worth $23. 1 million Iranian Rial, $23. Let's see Iraqi. Now look at Haiti. Look at Haitian, Haiti. Haiti money is like 1 million is like 7,597 US dollars. The demand on supply reason is not like a valid reason for me. It's like part of the reason, but it's not the reason, the sole reason. I think it's just a justification because I don't know. The value of currency is not very clear to me. All of that thing, Iran. Okay, let me see the Israeli. You see, look at Israel. 1 million Israeli is like $264,485 US dollars. Now look at Kuwait dinar. Kuwait dinar it's 3 million. What is the reason that Kuwait dinar is valued as at the highest? Is like considered the highest currency in the world. Do you know the reason? You know the population of Kuwait? Yeah, demand and supply is not the sole reason, man. Demand and supply, Kuwait is not like demand and supply is like, you cannot compare Kuwait to China. You cannot compare Kuwait, a country of 3 million, Kuwait, let me see. Kuwait, population of what? 3 million or 4 million or 5 million even. 4.9 million. You cannot compare, the power, the macroeconomic, the demand and supply of Kuwaiti to Chinese people, China Republic, or even India. So it doesn't just have to do with demand and supply. And why is it that Kuwait, out of all of the countries around the world, the Kuwait dinar is worth 3 million. 1 million Kuwait dinar is worth like 3 point something million US dollars. Does it have anything to do with the petrodollars? Kuwait is an oil country. Why is it that all of those countries that have a business which are selling their petrol using dollars to sell their petrol, the business is the transaction that every country that want to buy, so like every country that want to buy oil is you have to use dollars. Until very recently, you have to use dollar in order to buy dollars. And all of the countries that produce that oil, which is like the Gulf nation, like Kuwait, they are given their currencies like up here, like up there, like the currency is the number one currency. Yeah. I mean, for me, I don't understand. I still don't understand all of that. Like all of the rules, because the reason why I'm saying the reason in that people give, it will be you'll find a country that break that rule and is still strong, and then so like the macroeconomic, the demand and the supply, there are countries that are breaking those rules, and they still are very good. So that's the reason why I'm telling you that is not why we need to investigate the reason why Kuwait, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, why their money, their currency is strong. What does it have to do with the with the thing? Is there any relationship between them accepting that everybody like you have to use dollars in order to purchase their gas and oil, with the fact that their currency is very well respected around the world? Is it like a win-win? Is it like mutual benefit that is happening between U.S. Treasury and the Gulf nation? Is that the reason why remember the Iraq, when the America decided, many people think that the reason why America decided to invade Saddam Hussein Iraq and capture Saddam Hussein is because of 9/11. But people don't know that Kuwait was the reason. Kuwait is the reason why, is the one who lobbied the United States of America and paid the money for them to invade because of the Iraq invasion of Kuwait. Kuwait is the reason why U.S. invaded Iraq. What is the power of Kuwait? And Kuwait is actually the country that have the strongest currency in the world. People need to investigate that. And then, on the other hand, why is it that Zimbabwe, a country like Zimbabwe or Iran, all of the countries that have issue with the Western world, their currency is the worst currency in the world. And we can see it from Zimbabwe, when Zimbabwe was like having nice relationship with the Western world, and then out of nowhere, they started saying that Mugabe started talking about land and all of that, and then their currency become crazy. You should also check to boost the export. You should also check out Meet Open Courseware. There's probably a tutorial on there about this. The Currency Alliance doesn't tell if their economy is good. Everyone uses dollars in international trade. We primarily use dollars. That's what I'm saying. And then the strength of dollars. People tell you is because when the petrodollars. Petrodollar meaning that everybody who's using the currency that is used to buy oil, which is the oil is like the energy of the globe, is dollars. And then the countries that the Gulf nation are the countries that produce oil and gas, and those Gulf nations have the strongest currency. And those Gulf nations are the reason why we have war in the Middle East. Remember the Gulf nations are the reason why Libya was invaded. Libyan dinar. Let me see Libyan dinar. So people need to investigate. People need to investigate what is going on. I see there a lot of explanation about the product. In international trade, we primarily use dollar. Yeah, I understand that. Even though there are certain countries that are now trying to break out of using their local trade. The BRIC countries are coming. They're starting to say, okay, we need to start using our currency to do some trade. So yeah, but it's still my question is still a stand. My question is still a stand. The value. I feel like one way or another, we need to. we need to understand like there's a independent, there's economical independent. Many countries are still colonized. Many countries are still colonized, guys. And the colonization is not like based on it's not like people bringing their armies. The people already have controlled the energy, the global energy, the global supply, the energy supply of our world is controlled by people, a group of people. That's the colonialism. And then the fact that you're telling me that we're using dollar to trade is also need to be investigated. Yes, I understand. I've seen all of those like discussions, about the reason why some currencies are weak, and some other currencies are. But all of those justify. Like I'm telling you, if you read all of those, like the reasoning, you find that there's countries that are breaking those reasoning, breaking the rule, and they're still doing good. And then there are countries that are not breaking the rule and is still doing poorly. Let me see the Russian currency. $1 million Russian is equivalent to 10,000 US dollars. No. It's not worse. Nigeria is worse right now. Nigeria is worse. 1 million. Look, let me tell you. 1 million. 1 million Central African franc CFA. You know how much is equal? Is like 1,654. Whereas 1 million naira is like less than $500. So if you go to Cameroon, 1 million Cameroonian is like how much? Let me show you. 1 million Cameroonian to naira. So 1 million Cameroonian is equivalent to 2,699,374 Nigerian naira. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like people think that like a majority of those. Oh, this is Central African franc CFA. Central African franc CFA. 1 million Central African franc CFA is equivalent to 1,500 US dollars. Yeah, it can be true. That's what I'm saying. That's the reason why I'm telling you that if that's the case, then why is it that the Central African, why is it that their currency is stronger? It's like 3 times stronger than the Nigerian currency, or 2 times. You see, that's what I'm telling you, that is breaking the rule. I cannot grasp the point. That's the reason why I'm giving you the example of, I'm taking you the Afghanistan case. Afghanistan is just recently, is like a country, is a desert. They don't have any natural resource. They don't have oil. They're just coming out of war, but they still have a stronger economy, a stronger currency than majority of African or Nigerian. And for that matter, let me show you. 1 million Afghani, you know how much is it? 1 million Afghani money is like $15,268. But now compare them to India, which is like the superpower in that region. You see, Indian rupee, 1 million Indian rupees is equivalent to almost 12,000 US dollars. Whereas 1 million Afghani rupee is equivalent to only 15,000 US dollars. So, and if you go and dig, if you go and listen to the reasoning that are given by some economists as to why some currency is stronger, you find that India is better in all aspects. But still, Indian rupee is weaker than the Afghani rupee, Afghani currency. No, it's not. It has nothing to do that. French, you saying currency is strong because it is literally used by French West African colony. It has nothing to do that. You'll find one country you'll find one country in that is there, and that is like a small country that is with fewer population. Their currency is stronger than all of those West African, and then you have a West and Central African, like like if you go to Tunisia, let me go to Tunisia, which is like a French colony. 1 million Tunisian, you know how much is 1 million Tunisian dinar? It was like $321,595. And Tunisia is just like a country of 10 million. And nobody is using their dinar except Tunisia. Whereas the Central African countries, we have how many people are in the Central African countries? Cameroon alone is bigger than Tunisia. Cameroon has like a population of almost 30 million. Tunisia is like 11 something million. Nobody is using, I'm telling you that this argument doesn't hold. This argument is not, I'm telling you that nobody is using Afghani rupee in the international community. But I mean, people have a lot of, right now, India has made like, a business. India agree with a country, the Gulf nation. India now agree with Saudi Arabia that in order India will be buying, or with Iran, they will be using their currency to buy. Indian rupee will be used in order to do when they're doing transaction with the Gulf nation, like Saudi Arabia, Gulf. India will be using their rupee to buy Iranian oil. India will be using their rupee to do some transaction with Russian. But even though like all of those countries are using, like, they're trading with India using Indian currency, it's still Indian rupee is like, weaker than the Afghani. Whereas Afghani, nobody's using Afghani to buy, nobody's demanding Afghani currency, but it's still stronger. So it has nothing to do. So like people, they will explain to you in an economic term, but it doesn't hold. Like he's still like, failing. Like, the rule is not like, it's not a rule that every country is following in the world. Every country is breaking those rules, left and right, and they're still doing fine. Pumped when America wanted their soil. And it is blow. But then again, okay, there's another country that is known to sell the white product, which is Colombia. Colombia is actually bigger when it comes to selling that. Let me show you the Colombian currency. Colombia is actually closer to America. So like it take them long, it take American, it take like, it take long distance for you to transport Afghani product to European or American than it is for Colombia. But Colombian peso is actually, 1 million Colombian peso is actually worth just $233 US. Nuruddin, hello bro, how are you doing? Another Nigerian is in the house. The economy, that's what I'm saying. The economy, the explanation that the economists give us, the reasoning is not, is very weak. It's very weak. I can tell you, I've seen a lot. I try to understand. I try to find a pattern. Like, I try to grasp something that will give me a valid reason as to why some currencies as a strong, I didn't find them. But I didn't find those reasoning. And all of the reasons that were given, like I was telling you, you can see in terms of like production, macro production, India is better than Afghanistan. In terms of like, money exchanging, like the trade, you cannot compare India. India is like 1.5 billion people to a country that Afghanistan, which is like 30 or 20 million people. Their production, is incomparable. But it's still the Afghani currency is stronger than Indian. It doesn't hold. We shouldn't look at it from a very simplistic mode. Or the macroeconomic goal of all nations are different. Yes, I agree. But it's still like, what is the justification, the valid justification? But I'm pointing the finger though. I'm giving you guys a finger. I'm pointing something towards something. I'm telling you guys, look at the Gulf nation. I'm telling you the strongest currency in the world. The strongest currency in the world is the Kuwaiti dinar. Kuwaiti dinar is the strongest currency. It's stronger than the UK pounds. It's stronger than all of those euro and US dollars. So the strongest currency is Kuwaiti dinar. In Kuwait, like sometimes people tell you that, okay, Nigerian economy, the reason why Nigerian naira is going down is because Nigeria is dependent on oil. Kuwait is the country that depend on oil. You know, all of the Gulf nations, they depend on oil. It's still there, they're still holding. Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way. Thank you for the thumbs up. And then Kuwait doesn't have a mass production. Kuwait is one of those countries that is importing everything. They don't have an industry. They're importing on everything. They're importing on all good. You know, everything is imported there. So like they don't have that macroeconomic, like, you know, they're not making anything in Kuwait. They're just selling oil. But they still, so like, you know, I don't know the reasoning. I don't know. Some intentionally devalue their currency as well. I mean, look at Zimbabwe. I also give you Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, they didn't intentionally devalue their currency. Zimbabwe trouble, their currency started getting devalued when they started fighting, when Mugabe started coming, repositioning the land from the white farmer. And then this is how their problem started, and their currency went into, the global community tried to destroy their economy by devaluing their currency. Oh, you mean this? You guys import more oil? Okay, like the amount of oil that you import is not like, you know, you cannot, like, look at, for instance, Pakistan. Pakistan import more oil than you. India import more oil than you guys. But it's still, like, you know, they're not suffering. Even Chinese import more oil than you. It's still, they're not, their currency is not suffering. So once again, I need you in Nigeria need to investigate who is behind the crisis. I think nobody destroy their economy. Nobody will auto-destroy themselves. Nobody will auto-destroy themselves. There's a lot of reasoning behind it. There's a lot of reasoning behind it. Like you were telling me, economy is just very complex. And the reason why it is very complex is that you don't have a control over your economy. So I don't think like Zimbabwe just auto-destroy themselves. Zimbabwe just took a policy, and that policy has consequences, and the consequences was in the hand of other people. Other people try to negotiate with them, tell them, hey man, don't do it. Let me tell you something. If South Africa, which is the biggest country in the region, Zimbabwe was just like, you know, a message to South Africa, indirect message to South Africa. This is what will happen to you if you decide to go to do that. Because South Africa also have a similar issue. Majority of the land of South Africa is in the hand of few people. Now, if the South African government decide to do that, that's what will happen to them. So that's the case of Zimbabwe. Yes, let's go. Let's look at it. Let's look at it from that point, that perspective. Let me see. Top 10 strongest what are the reasons? Let me show you the list. These are the top 10 strongest currency. These are the top 10 countries with the strongest currency. And you know where are those countries located? All of them are oil. Number 1 is Kuwaiti dinar. Number 2 is Bahrain dinar. Number 2 is Omani rial. Number 4 is Jordanian rial. And then number 5 is outside of that area, which is Gibraltar pound. Number 6 is British pound. Number 7 is Cayman Island. Number 8 is like Swiss franc. Number 9 is euro, and number 10 is US dollars. So among the top five, all of them are oil producing. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, if I decide to stop working and become a full time, okay. Um, yeah, guys, I was just trying to find a justification, a valid justification as to why some currencies are stronger than the other ones. But it seems like even the economists find it difficulty. Once again, these are the top 5. 1 is Kuwait, 2 is Bahrain, Oman, and then Jordanian dinar.
Let's be serious. This is like.
And I can give you a good reason as to why these countries. In the analogy I felt at giving, I was going to assume you found gold under your bed. Okay. Like if I stop working and find a gold under my bed, what will happen to me? What will happen to me? You mean to say that, okay, I stop working and find gold and I start selling gold. I will have a lot of currency. I will have a lot of value. My life will be more valuable. Is that what are you trying to say? I will have a lot of time in my hands. Now I'm not wasting a lot of time working for other people. For my time I have more. I mean, I don't know. But basically, some have a healthier BOP. This is basically saying less than you make. What does BOP stand for? And the balance of payment. That's a justification. One of those justification, you know. Let me see. What is the economy? Kuwait is one of the richest countries in the world. The Kuwait dinar is the highest valued unit of currency in the world. Kuwait is the 5th richest country in the world by gross national income. Okay, took an actual economic. Yeah, I'm analyzing the way if we look at the way the West messes with countries, especially through institutions like IMF. Yeah, all of it, IMF, and I think many countries need to pull out from IMF, because this is I'm telling you, telling you, if all of you guys become like, they're trying to make it like, they try to globalize the world. We're not ready for that. We're not ready for that step. If we do that, then we become the third class citizen. They will come to our country, buy everything. Everything become like, privatized. Everything is not owned by us. Even our land. We will live in our land and then be like, be a land, we have a landlord in Europe. So you live in your country, and then everything in your country is bought and sold by, because those IMF, in order for them to give the African countries or the developing countries aid, they need you to do certain things, to privatize, to sell your company, to sell all of your good to their company, to the people who are, to the people from the Western countries. So, if USA, not by just willing currency, if USA pumped more or less dollars in representative African countries, yeah. What does Kuwait economy is primarily dependent on oil, with oil sectors accounting for 40% of its GDP and 90% of government revenue. Kuwait is the fourth largest oil producer in the OPEC and owns more than 7% of the world oil reserve. Government revenue, oil and gas export account for 86% of the Kuwaiti government. Okay, now if you ask, why is the Kuwaiti Sunnah, the demand for the currency is very high? Look at Google, like is the reason in that, like I'm asking Google, why is the Kuwaiti dinar is so valuable? And then Google is responding to me by saying the demand for the currency is very high. The economy of Kuwait is primarily dependent on oil, but not only that, it is a stable country that uses oil as its revenue, primarily revenue efficiently. Another answer by Google: the Kuwait dinar is the world's highest valued currency, reflecting to Kuwait's strong economy and abundant oil reserve. Speaking, you're saying that now I will tell you to have a gay right as well. Well, yeah, during the military era of Babangida. Okay, yeah, okay. Speaking of currency value not really being reliable measure, do you know that USA as of Africa is heading to a debt crisis? Oh, really? Yeah, I know that. I know that people are depending on IMF or something like that, the International Monetary Fund or some shit like that. Google is telling me, I'm asking Google why the Kuwaiti dinar is the strongest currency. Google is telling me that it's reflecting to Kuwait's strong economy and abundant oil reserve. So according to the Google, the reason why Kuwait has the strongest economy is because they have abundant oil reserve. So if we base our reasoning on those two things, like the abundant oil reserve and then you know who has the largest oil reserve? Okay, let me ask Google the country with the largest oil reserve. Top 10 country. With the largest top 10 country with the largest oil reserve. The world largest oil reserve by countries. Okay, let's see that. You know the world largest oil reserve by country, number one is Venezuela. It has 300.03, but Venezuela is under sanction. It has the weakest currency. So based on Google, like if the reason why the Kuwait dinar is like the strongest currency is because of the oil reserve, then Kuwait shouldn't be like, you know, listed as the #1 country. You have Venezuela, with the largest oil reserve, but we all know that Venezuela. And then the second position in Saudi Arabia. Okay, some people will say that, okay, the reason why Venezuela doesn't have Venezuela's currency is weak is because they're not stable and sanctioned and all of that. Okay, let's accept that and then go to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia sell more gas, more oil than Kuwait. But it's still, Saudi Arabia is not even among the top 10. Saudi Arabia currency is not even the top 10. And then the third country is Iran. The fourth country is Canada. The fifth country is Iraq. The sixth is UAE, United Arab Emirates. Kuwait is coming #7. Russia is 8, United States, and then Libya. So Google, your reasoning is not a valid reason. I'm asking Google, why is Kuwaiti dinar considered the strongest or the most valued currency? And Google is telling me it's because of the oil reserve. But then again, Kuwait is ranking #7 in terms of oil reserve. That's what I'm telling you. All of the reasoning that you'll be getting is like, I don't know. And then when Google tell us that also the Kuwait economy is stable, that's nonsense as well. That's nonsense. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even like BOP comparison. Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. Here's some information about the balance of payment for Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. In 2023, Saudi Arabia net primary income was what? Was 5 billion. Trade, import, I'm not gonna read all of that. Kuwait is one of the richest country in the estimated to be 5th richest country in the world. Gross national income for Saudi Arabia GDP is estimated to be I think the easiest way, if the economic law didn't hold true, do you think that USA would want theirs rank? No, I'm telling you the reason why I'm telling you that I'm trying to point into something. I'm trying to direct you guys into something, a phenomenon. I just show you that the top 10, this is the top 10 strongest currency in the world. And I show you that the five of those top 10 are selling oil, and 5 of them are in the Middle East, which is like, you know, the Gulf nation. They call them Gulf nation. I told you that the currency Kuwait, Bahrain, Omani, Jordan, and all of those guys are in a Gulf nation. And I also told you that, and you were telling me that actually there's something called petrodollars, right? That those Gulf nation, the currency that I use to buy the oil internationally is dollars. So I'm trying to show you a transaction where how USA dollars become like the international currency that, you know, is used to buy oil, and in return, the country that are selling those oil having their currency valued higher than the US dollars. That's the and I also show you that. I also point you to a crisis, that the reason why USA decided to invade Iraq is because of Iraq decision to invade the Gulf War. Remember when Iraq decided to invade Kuwait, and because of that, and that The reason why USA decided in 2001 to invade, 2003 to invade Iraq is because of Kuwait actually. The kings in Kuwait and Gulf nation lobby the US and the Western government to invade and unalive Saddam Hussein. So you see the influence. You see how those Gulf nations, and I also told you that the same Gulf nations lobby the invasion of Bashar, or the invasion of Syria, and also lobby the invasion of Libya. Remember the Arab League when they went to, Obama refused to invade Libya, and then they forced him. They went, the Gulf nation went to Europe, and then the UK and France came to convince Obama, telling him that the invasion is gonna be just like, they're not gonna use, like the NATO is not gonna use the military, they're not gonna use the ground, they're just gonna prevent Libya from using their airspace, Gaddafi from using it, and so you have to, I'm pointing you towards something. I'm pointing you that it's not a coincidence that the top 5 countries with the strongest currency in the world are in the Gulf countries. They are Gulf countries, UAE, all of those guys. And then, so US dollar, it has all reason why it allow itself to become like the international currency that is used to buy some goods and even oil. And then in return, those Gulf nations are getting their currency stronger than the US dollars. So you need to see all of that. But let me compare. You asked me to compare the GDP. You asked me to compare the BOP of Kuwait in certain countries. So I'm gonna take Saudi Arabia in comparison. The GDP, Saudi Arabia has like a 786 billion GDP, and Kuwait has 140. So this one here, is doesn't make it, all of it, like, I'm trying to see where. So GDP grows per year, 1.7 for Kuwait and 2.2 per 5 years, 0.5 for Kuwait, 2.2 for Saudi Arabia. Population, yeah, we already know. GDP per capita, 34,000 is understandable, and 23 for Saudi Arabia. So Kuwait has like a GDP per capita higher than Saudi Arabia. Is understandable because they have they're a smaller country, 4.6 million, and then Saudi Arabia is like 33 million. Yeah, the purchasing power, Saudi Arabia is better, but all of it, even though Saudi Arabia is better than them in every aspect, is still their currency is not as stronger. Saudi Arabia currency is not as stronger than Kuwait. Today we have, like, I'm excited, man. Today I got involved in a lot of topics, depending on a person. You are an economist. Son of Soweto was here. He came as a religious person. We debated religion, and you came as an economist. We debated economy. And it's getting dark here. If the economy law didn't hold, do you think that USA would want to be ranking as slow law? USA is getting, they know the reason why they want to rank the so low. The economic law, man, I don't know how they work. But again, let's go back to Nigeria. I need to see who is messing up with the economy. I think that's it, guys. I'm gonna go and cook something. Cook some rice. And eat. All right, have a wonderful day.